measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If Earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken. We just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat Earth king of rhyme.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Sven P, Curved Fart, Pablo de la Cruz, Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, Survive the Spin, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Tiers Morgan, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, J Mel's 24, Unimento, Iron 26, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Troy Shuker, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links, as I say, to Patreon are below this video. But with that, I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google, so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Baby, end the story. And that's it. But my daughter, who I almost supported, is pro-abortion now as an adult. Go figure. I'll see you over there. I'm going to miss.
You're going to get the papers. Get the papers.
Oh, I got one. Entropy can only be described with respect to a plane of reference.
What was that?
The dispersion of gases are a Cartesian description. Yeah. Yeah, they are.
Wait, I missed that. Can you repeat it?
Entropy can only be described with respect to a plane of reference.
If you think of any entropic effect, Neil, doesn't matter if it's osmosis or, as we typically describe, dispersion of gases into volumes.
Oh, yeah. Agreed, 100%. That's right. Why didn't we think of that?
I mean, we did.
Well, I know when we described the gas pressure without a container, we've been doing that.
Yeah, I did it
so
yesterday.
So it's sort of similar, right?
Well, that's what I did yesterday on their show when they were appealing to gas pressure gradients. Brought them back to the prerequisite that they describe it with respect to. John's just summarised it. Entropy needs a flat Earth. And he's right. He's absolutely correct.
Yeah. We've been saying anytime they bring up that gas pressure out of container, we've been saying that. Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's everything. Like, can you really get away from it?
No, every single Earth measurement ever, without exception, requires Earth be measured flat.
I think that's why it's resisted so much, and that's why it really is like pouring salt on them, because you can't recover from this. There's no way to go. So what do you have to do? You have to freaking character assassinate the people that are saying something so powerful and so true.
While we simultaneously say, because of that being the default measurement always without exception, there isn't really anything for us to do. So while we are at the height of being called literally demons, as I was being called yesterday, right? So we joined a server called Worldwide Debates, and because of various technical issues, that is to say, the gateway I use through Edge was suddenly encountering a problem. That is to say, I couldn't be heard in the Discord server that I'd been in and been heard up until that point. And then after about half an hour figuring out technical issues, I found that I was actually muted in a different browser on Chrome. Very bizarre. Nevertheless, after a load of technical issues, and while I can't be heard, the protestations from the Discord server in this open, neutral platform of which I have no control over was that I'm a demon for being in the neutral platform, devastating heliocentrists. That was the alleged suggestion, that I'm a demon. Could you believe that when you heard that?
No, I could believe it, but here's the thing. See, they could say whatever they want, and they could talk to you however you want, but if you retaliate, you're the demon. So Dawn was saying, we don't want our friends being talked to that way, disrespected that way. We're friends here. Get out of here. He's an old schooler, and he used to come on the freaking show back in the day and got his ass handed to him a million times. So character assassinate you, call you a demon.
Yeah. I mean, one deck summarised it really beautifully after the fact. It's like, you can have hours of discussion about, I don't know, whatever. What was one of the preceding?
They were talking about currency and the banking system.
Birth certificates being sold on the stock exchange. Total nonsense in a debate labelled Worldwide Debates, right? Nobody mentions anything. That goes on for a significant period of time. I come in and talk about how my opponents are putting to me how flat Earth is measured by them, and suddenly the server operator's got to come in and say, you know, we've got to keep this room clear, you know, we need to put you in a separate room. And you're like, what? It's like, well, we need to keep this an open debating platform. Like, so the neutral open debate platform that I've been begged to be in for years, even though no debate platform is ever neutral, now I'm here, I'm being called a demon, and it's only tolerable that we talk about flogging our birth certificates on the stock exchange. When I talk about a mile being flat, quick, let's get some measures in place. We need to sort this out. We need to segregate this man into a separate area so he's not disturbing the apple cart of people talking about selling their birth certificates.
See, a neutral platform to them is you debating McToon with somebody like Reg Rhetoric being a moderator, or somebody from their side being a moderator.
What do you mean by neutral? Well, I mean, I'm going to have someone from my own side as the moderator. I can talk for half an hour before you get to see a single word. The minute you address anything I say, I'm allowed to interrupt you, and the moderator will tell you off for talking through me. That's how neutral it needs to be.
Oh, yeah. I experienced that with McToon and Ruhis.
Yep.
Yeah, the minute you actually just go into a public server where it's like, okay, well, this is a free-for-all, right? Anybody can talk about anything. What do you want to talk about? We want to tell you how curvy it is. Okay, what are you driving curve from? Well, a tangential plane that I'm measuring flat linear miles. All right, so you're measuring Earth in flat linear miles. Quick! Segregate him! Get him in a different room! The man's a demon!
Yep.
We can use a nonlinear function. Yeah, just because it's a linear function don't mean we can't apply it non-linearly.
Do you want to hear a bit more of the other debate? The one previous with a lot more blue language.
I'm about afraid to hear what they got to say.
Yes, Nathan.
Hey, Nathan,
Okay.
we're all
more fear than you do.
We're all here specifically to hear you, and that's the facts. Okay, so that's what it is. Just keep going. We're here to hear you.
Oh, thanks. I'm really flattered.
He's eating his pizza right now, though. Give him a sec.
No.
How's the book coming along, Oakley? I thought it was supposed to be out a couple of months ago.
No, my time was to finish the actual production of the book. So at the point that I was happy with it and passed it on to the publisher, that was about Easter.
After how many hours a fortnight did you get it published?
Quite a few.
You gonna pre-order?
How many mics? How many mics did you sell in that time?
500.
Yeah, I ordered it, but it said Quantum Eraser on it. It didn't say Oakley for some reason.
That's
Why
not his
didn't you
book.
keep at least one good mic?
I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't published my book yet.
Oh, I read a version of it. It's interesting.
No, you didn't.
Can I interrupt quick?
Trying to stir some shit up, Nathan.
Yeah, go ahead, Surf Daddy. If that was...
I want to say the way you are handling the subtle trolls that we all know that they're talking about is superb. This is what I want to hear when they're starting to throw their little barbs and jabs at you. You sitting there eating your piece of pizza and answering them. Yeah, I haven't published my book yet. Yeah, I sold quite a few mics. I did plenty of hours of Fortnite, and I got 3 victory royales. That kind of dismissiveness is what I perceive pisses them off the most. As soon as they get you going with the blue language, then those demons have succeeded. So I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm enjoying this very much. Please continue as you wish.
We're just making shit up.
Hey,
He hasn't read a version of my book.
Is that
My book hasn't
Arwen?
been published. There's
Arwen,
absolutely
welcome back
way
to the
he could have
show.
read it. He's saying he's read a version of my book. He hasn't. He's just a bullshitter. No, you haven't.
Who the fuck
Let me
is this
guess, it's going
voice
to have the
anyway?
same
Let me
exact
find out who the
points that
fuck
you're going to
this
have
is.
in your book.
This fucking prick.
Talking about the quantum earacher.
Yeah, that was good.
Wesley, the good news for you is once his book is released, you're going to learn about what second law of thermodynamics is.
Yeah, and I'm also going to learn how you take a elevation angle from the actual surface. You get in a dinghy, and then I don't know what else is next. I can't wait.
Okay. For my audience's benefit, on screen
And
now.
Miles
On screen now is an elevation acquisition. It describes elevation angle as labelled elevation angle, and then it gives a degree with respect to the sun and a 90 degree at the zenith of the sun. It's called an elevation angle. It's fairly standard practice flat Earth measurement of an angle.
I'm not very on these topics. Can this same idea be done to like the horizon, like a so-called horizon elevation angle or whatever, or is it just the sun?
You can use a mariner's sextant to acquire a level base at 0 degrees. If you're in a dinghy, for example, at sea level, then you'd measure your elevation.
Do you submerge it first?
I'm answering this guy's question.
Hold on, man. He was talking.
Sorry.
Yeah, just shut the fuck up. Yeah, if you're in a dinghy, you can use something called a mariner's sextant, and the point where the ground appears to meet the sky can be utilised to acquire a 0 degree for the angle to the light in the sky you're going to use for navigation. As per my diagrammatical example for my audience on screen, with 90 degrees below the celestial item to your position where you're measuring it. Flat Earth prerequisite elevation angle measurement as depicted on screen.
And then
The sextant
after we
measures
do
the
that,
height of bodies, not angles.
Say again?
I thought a sextant measured height of bodies, not angles.
Yeah, elevation angles. What do you think elevation means?
Fair.
Yeah.
so then
if you're
what's the
measuring
next step?
elevation,
So we get that angle. Now, how do we do cell nav after that point?
how do you do cell nav? Well, you need multiple stars to do it. So you'd measure your elevation angle to a specific star to start, and then you'd minus from 90 and times by 60 to get the distance to the GP of that star. So you can draw out a line of position, which is a small section of an area of equal elevation. Once you've got one position, you can then do it with a different star. You measure the angle, minus it from 90, times it by 60 to give you the radial value of that area of equal elevation, and then you draw a second line of position which has an intersect point where you are, hopefully. If one of the intersect points is in the sea and one is on land and you're in a boat, you know where you are. If not, then you've got 2 intersect points and you need to narrow it down further with a third star. You minus 90 from minus the measured angle to the third star from 90, times that by 60 to give you the distance to the GP of the third star, and another third circle of equal elevation, all flat. They're circles, and describing distances that are vast across our flat plane, how this can only function to give you a final intersect point That's your fix. That's your line of position being utilized by way of 3 circles of equal elevation and the single intersect point with one of them.
So which map should we draw the circle of equal elevation on?
Use a chart that you'd be supplied when you go out on your boat.
You just did a bunch of math. How many lines of position do you need to require a position?
3. The other problem is that when you say 1 degree, Nathan, when you say 1 degree per 69 statute
I didn't
miles,
say that.
That's like not.
That was my claim. I didn't claim that.
Miles.
I didn't claim that. I didn't claim that.
60 nautical miles.
I didn't claim that.
You said
some other guy claimed that.
You did.
I did not. Some other guy claimed it, and I pointed out how his claim was.
Hold on. Let me repeat what I heard you say. Let me repeat what I heard you say, and if I'm incorrect, you can set me straight. You said take an elevation angle to a celestial body, and then you know the distance to that GP of that celestial body. You said you take 60 nautical miles per degree elevation angle. Did you not say that?
No.
Okay. Did anybody else hear him say that? I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
I know what I said, and I didn't say that. Asking other people if they heard me say something I didn't say isn't going to confirm that I said something I didn't say. Measuring an angle.
So do you know
taking the time that you measured the angle, because
no?
you're going to be looking it up in the almanac, minusing that measured angle from 90 and timesing it by 60 gives you the radial value of a circle of equal elevation. Now, I've said it 4 times.
So how do you know the distance to the GP of that star that I'm looking at?
I literally just said it 25 fucking seconds ago, you retard. It's like in Zoolander, right? There's a happy accident where Ben Stiller forgets his line, right? So he's got, what's the guy who plays Mulder or Scully, whichever the male character is? What's the name of that guy? Duchovny or something? Is it David Duchovny?
David.
Right, so you got David Duchovny, and David Duchovny's a former hand model. So he's explaining to Ben Stiller's male model character called Zoolander that they take men in the peak of physical fitness and train them up as assassins because they get access to all these different areas because of their being in a celebrity status and their physical prowess. They're perfectly tuned to be trained up as fighters and slipped into areas that they might not normally get a normal assassin into. That's why they use models as assassins. And then Zoolander responds, but why male models? After a very lengthy exposition with cutaways for the audience to see, training sessions of models going into areas as David Duchovny's describing it to him. Well, this guy's like, well, how'd you get the distance? I've just said, you measure an angle, you minus the measured angle from 90, times it by 60 to give you the radius of an area of equal elevation. That's your distance to GP. How'd you measure distance?
The latest on that is, how can you confirm that that's actually a linear distance? I think there's several people that are trying to work that angle in their arguments. Because
you arrive at your location.
It's deriving the radius.
Well,
that's
yeah,
why.
How do you know that those are straight linear miles? How do you know
it's a
that
radius?
those are
Let me
miles?
just answer. So everybody's going, oh, I was really stumped. No, it's a radius. Do you think radius or radii bend? No. Radii are straight. If you think it's bending, then you are a moron and you don't know what a radius is. So that actually happened on this very stream. So a guy I think it was either Jesse Path of Light or one of the other ones that are similar, same piss, different bottle, different name, asserted that the radial value was derived from a zenith acquisition of angle. And it's like, okay, but it's forming an area of equal elevation. Yeah. Right, well, that's deriving the radial value when you minus from 90 or times it by 60 to give you the distance of the radial value that you're going to draw a circle with. It's like, do you think radii bend? You bunch of morons. What do you think we're doing this for? Oh, non-linear radii. What a bunch of idiots.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
No, you didn't. You said,
yeah, did you?
Hold on. What
retard.
you said was,
you're just too dumb to understand it. You fucking retard.
Elevation.
You're just too dumb to. Yeah, it's just too Zoolander to get it. Understand it, you fucking retard.
No. You said a circle of equal elevation.
Yes, correct.
A circle isn't a distance.
Yeah, the radial value is the distance to the GP.
Okay, and the radial value that you just said was you subtract 90 because it's an elevation angle, and you multiply by 60.
Did you get that right? Did he say subtract the angle from 90, or did he just say subtract 90? I think he said just subtract 90. So just for its clarity, because he's now convoluted this, and I didn't catch it in the moment. It sounded like he repeated me correctly. So whether or not I confirm or deny what he's just said is a testament to how closely I'm paying attention. But now I'm paying attention. So you measure the angle, right? And you minus that angle measurement from 90, minusing the angle from 90, and then timesing that value, the result of minusing the angle from 90, by 60. 90 is the right angle triangle aspect of this derivation. 60 is the distance to the GP when you times the angle that you've measured after minusing it from 90 to give it a convention in celestial navigation that gives you a distance with that convention, 1 degree for every 60 nautical miles. That gives you an extrapolated straight distance. Why is it got to be linear? It's a radial value for a circle of equal elevation around the point below the star. That's the point of doing this. It's called celestial navigation, with straight linear radii mile acquisition to GP below star. That is how this is done. It's what it is. So when you ask, why is it going to be linear? You're like, are you really this stupid? Come on, get a grip.
60. Why do you multiply by 60?
The distance in nautical miles.
Per degree. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't it minutes and time?
Okay. So
it's all based on 360 sphere.
Okay. So he just said that's what I said. 60 or 1 degree per 60 nautical miles. The problem is that doesn't work with perspective. That's not how elevation angles work. We don't use that in surveying. We don't use that anywhere. The only reason that works.
What he's now doing is he's essentially challenging celestial navigation, not me. He's saying, I don't think that celestial navigation works the way celestial navigation works. And because it's come from your mouth, it becomes you and your celestial navigation. I don't care. You don't have to accept it. You're a nonsense.
Right. He's arguing with the manuals right now.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't care. Go and argue with these manuals if you want to challenge our celestial navigation works and has expanded the very known territory of the surface of the Earth that we inhabit. You don't like it, all right. Okay, maybe we didn't expand the territories with this method then, because you, a dickhead YouTuber, says you don't like it, aka he doesn't understand it. He's made 3 attempts to say minusing the angle that's measured from 90 and timesing that by 60. He doesn't know what the convention's for. He's asking me, but I don't like this. Okay. Who do you think you are?
Is that is a curve ratio, Earth curve ratio. Cannot work on a flat surface.
A flat metal. Didn't know what it was 25 seconds ago. Now he's telling me it's a curved ratio. It's like the curve is the curve of the protractor, right? When you're describing a degree declining towards the horizon every 60 nautical miles that you back away from Polaris, that degree is the flat Earth measurement along the baseline that you're measuring the degree with. But that forms a globe. Otherwise known as a glorified protractor, with latitude lines, that's degree measurements, on the glorified protractor. So when, from the background, you hear Rob Noxious going, it's a degree, 360, what, like the protractor we're measuring the flat surface with? Yeah, that's right. We're measuring the flat surface with degrees to the sky. That's a curve of a protractor over a flat plane we're measuring for the 0 degree baseline. But they think the protractor's the globe. That's how this trick works.
It only works at a flat surface.
Flat measurement from surface level. The angle's measured from surface level.
No, it doesn't.
Sorry, the angle's
you can do the trig. You can do the trig.
Okay, we heard you the first fucking time. Now I'm contesting what you've said. I heard you.
Do the trig on
I heard you. Do you think I need to hear it fucking twice? It's only you spastics that need things repeating.
Whoever the other voice that came out of your mic.
Joe Pesci.
Do you have like people in the room with you, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, the elevation angle that's measured is on screen, diagrammatic. They're dangling out the red herring and Neil immediately pounces on it.
Yeah, I got to beat that up.
Squirming away from the point. example again for my audience.
The guy that was just talking through you.
Elevation angle. Part of that's why they needed to squirm away and talk about other mic voices coming out of my line. It's like, oh, you're all pretty familiar with what I do. You know exactly who I am. But suddenly it's a shock that I've got two different servers connected together. Like it's not been my format for 10 years. Yeah, we need to talk about that for a bit. The minute I go, meanwhile, we're measuring it out, blah, 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 blah. Like little girls sticking their fingers in their ears. I can't hear you. La, 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 la. Of the angle runs along the surface to the GP. It is flat. It's forming a 90-degree triangle. From your position to the star forms one line of the angle. From your position to the GP of the star at 90 degrees to your position. Ipso facto flat.
No, but you didn't listen to my argument. Try to steal.
There isn't an argument. It's not an argument. I'm telling you how it's done. That's not an argument. I'm telling you.
If you don't think there's an
stuttery, retard, fuckwit. I'm telling you how it's done. I'm not debating you. I am educating you while you disagree. Like I give a flying fuck about your opinion. I'm not asking you for a debate. I'm telling you how you measure elevation angles to stars to derive radial values after you minus from 90 and times by 60 to give the distance to the GP, which is 90 degrees to your position. I'm not debating it. I'm telling you.
You can't. No, that doesn't work. You can't do that. Doesn't work on a flat stationary plane of Earth.
Okay, so when I say 90 degrees to my position, you think that when I say 90 degrees to my position, one of the measured angle lines bends, correct?
I don't know. When somebody says 90 degrees to my position, I don't know what that like.
They sit down and shut. Yeah, that's the problem, innit? These literal wankers are telling me they don't like me educating them in something they've never even understood, heard of, researched. While I explain it and they yak through the top of me, at the end they go, when you say at 90 degrees to my position, I don't really know what the fuck you're talking about. You're like, yeah, that's right. You're challenging me on this stuff, telling me you don't like it, telling me it's not a flat earth prerequisite, but you haven't got the slightest idea how any of this stuff works. Like literally, you haven't got the first clue. So why are we minusing from 90 and timesing by 60? You don't know what the 60 is, you don't know what the 90 is, but even though we've got them, and you've repeated them back to me several times, at 90 to your position doesn't mean anything. That could be curved. You're like, you're complete boneheads. Like, what's the Dunning-Kruger? You don't know how dumb you are while you're telling me how wrong I am about something I'm very well educated in by now after dealing with it for 10 straight years. You're only hearing it for the first time from me, but feel that you're in a position to challenge it, say I'm wrong, and then ask me, well, what does that 90 to my position mean? Oh my God, sit down and shut the fuck up. You bunch of fart-sniffing, Batman t-shirt wearing wankers. None of you know about any of this stuff. Even if you did, it would not be consequential. That's what I'm having to currently confess to. Regardless of me actually understanding what at 90 to my position means, doesn't mean I'm the arbiter of celestial navigation, or somehow famous for having brought this to the masses, like a lot of idiots who've recently departed our company want to sniff their own effluence with, when they're just telling themselves that somehow portraying and conveying information that's been fundamental to Earth measurement for literally as far as the rhetoric's concerned, thousands of years, is somehow their endeavours. You're like, my God, people are so self-indulgent, even when they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like this guy. Shut the fuck up, you stupid spastic. Yeah, I get it. I heard you. You don't understand what we're talking about. Okay, retard. Then sit down and shut the fuck up.
I do. I can picture a
stuttery
in my head.
Shithead. Sit down. Angle. Shut up. You don't understand. You've told us. You don't understand. Fucktard. I heard. When we say 90 to your position, you don't understand what the fuck the words coming out of my mouth mean. Yeah, I get it. Now sit down. Was this the same guy as yesterday? I see spin. It's the same guy, isn't it? This is the guy that said, oh yeah, you don't like me describing elevation angles as altitude from sea level because I ripped you a new one the last time we encountered each other. So is this his version of him repping me a new one the last time we encountered each other? He didn't have the slightest clue how celestial navigation worked. Had to ask me after declaring he didn't understand what at 90 means, when part of the calculation to derive a linear radial value was minusing it from 90, the angle acquisition, and timesing that by 60, the derivation in nautical miles, to give us a flat linear radial value in nautical miles. They don't know how any of this functions, but they, in their minds, their delusional Dunning-Kruger fucked-hard minds, think that they're handing me my ass, while I painfully and slowly, with a lot of interruption, take these dumb fucks by the hand and slowly explain to them how a very basic principle of measuring an angle from a surface level works.
But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting.
How are you?
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So yesterday's show took place in Worldwide Debates. So I had a little sponsor challenge, which was Len, saying if you can go into Worldwide Debates and debate without vitriolic abuse of them in their idiocy and swearing at them for being idiots, then it would be a lot more shareable. And as a challenge, I'll pay you $100 if you can go in and do a couple of hours without swearing at them. Fairly straightforward challenge. So I'm like, challenge accepted. So last Friday, I was asked by my publisher to send him high-resolution images for the book so he can format them separately to the book. So I've sent him them inside the book with the text, and he wanted them all separately. So that was the last communication I had towards the end of last week, right? So now it's been 4 or 5 days. I'm sitting going, I've heard nothing back from him. I've sent him a quick message saying, do you need anything else? He hasn't responded. So I'm sitting here going, when's this book coming? He started to get a bit anxious about it. So it came at a beautiful time where if there's money coming in from Len, £100 in this instance, I don't have to fret about chasing him up and saying, come on, I need this book out, I need the money from it, which is true, but less so if I've got a donation from a very kind sponsor suggesting that a non-sweary episode of Worldwide Debates would be well received. With that in mind, right, thank you very much, by the way, Len. Really appreciate it. I did thank him yesterday, but thanks again. Anytime, Nathan. Oh, that's really kind of you to say. But yes, I am very grateful then. Anyway.
More than welcome to.
Brilliant. Yeah, I do appreciate it. It is very well received, as I tell everybody when they do get a super chat into me. Maybe I'll do that as the plug first. If you have the means to support this channel, please don't stand on ceremony. Do actually do so. I know I shout it out at the beginning of the show each time, but the only reason this show continues and has continued for the last 10 years is not because of ad revenue. It's not because of people watching it in droves. The numbers aren't good enough to support me and my family and pay mortgages and electricity bills and internet cable connections. I don't get to pay for any of that, but for the fact that people support me via things like the coffee link. So if you're like thinking, oh yeah, I don't mind parting with a £5, I think I can afford it, I do enjoy watching your stuff, then bung me that £5. That's what keeps the show going. Now in this instance, I've got what I would call a sizable donation, $100 from Len, but that ultimately is keeping me ticked over, and you, the supporter, goes, yeah, I'll buy you a coffee, which is my equivalent coffee. It's called Ko-Fi, but yeah, coffee is the link to do exactly that. And a couple of people have, and obviously I get back in touch with them immediately and say, thank you very much. I really and sincerely do appreciate your support. But if you can afford to do so, bung me that £5 and buy me a coffee. It does go a long way to keeping the channel going. And it's but for the support of Patreons, people like Len giving me money via PayPal, people who have in the last couple of days at least supported the coffee link. That is literally what keeps the channel going, so please do so. Also, I want to do a shout out to the host, right? So I'm giving Riggs a bit of a hard time because up until now, it's always been the case that I've been blamed for my so-called opponent feeling so very, very unfortunate as to have to come here to state their position to me on my show, meaning that I'm under control of my show, which of course I am. And that's somehow a suggestion of me muting my opponents when they come in and lose badly. Now, with that in mind, I've then gone in unannounced to a server that's sympathetic, let's just say, to me as a content producer going in and discussing this stuff in their server, which I don't have a server. I never have. Literally, I've been in dozens, but I've never owned a server or operated one or started one. I just leech off other people's efforts. In this case, Riggs, right? Now, I'm moaning at him because he wants to keep an orderly show, and the best way to do that is to have some order to the show. What I'm being told by my so-called opponents is, we want you on neutral ground, in a neutral platform. So when I go in and announce, that's the only way to be in a neutral platform, which is absolutely without question beyond my control, so that they can feel ever so comfy. Now, what happened yesterday was, through technical issues, I ended up not being heard after being heard for half the time I was in there, and then suddenly I couldn't be. Turns out I was muted in a completely separate web browser. Don't ask me how that happens, but it did. All the same, conspiratorial explanations aside, which I'm sure we could get into if we wanted to, eventually I figured out the issue whilst live, which is stressful, right? And then I could be heard. But in the meantime, I was being told, without the ability to respond, that I was a demon for being in the area that's no control of mine, neutral platform, admittedly with a majority of ballers. In this instance, a number of them that we've been listening to the pre-show that want to shut me down, talk through me, chant that they're going to get to beg the question, call me a liar. Yeah, all those things that you get to do on a neutral platform. That definitely isn't neutral. It just means that the consensus is in the majority, even if the platform's deemed to be neutral. So with every advantage possible, eventually I was shoved into a different room that's specific to content creators to give them a degree of control, despite me moaning and objecting to the operator who just wants to run a clean show. So from one point of view, I agree with his position when he's putting it to me, but I'm essentially playing devil's advocate on behalf of the oh-so-wronged and disadvantaged ball believers who need neutral platforms. I'm saying, nah, man, I want to be here. I don't mind not having control. I'll kick all of their asses. Doesn't matter how many pile on at the same time because they're in a so-called neutral platform. But even when they got it, they wanted to put me into a place where I could be deemed in control so they could presumably blame me for having a mute button. In other words, they just need excuses. And that came across in spades on yesterday's show. Now, the main event sort of starts about 50 minutes into yesterday's live show because, as I say, there was technical issues. But we got to hear the cockwaffle that's tolerated without the single intrusion of any moderation team or indeed the server owner when you're talking about birth certificates and the value attached that should be in some bank somewhere that maybe we could... Yeah, that's all tolerated. The minute I start talking about a mile being measured linear based on some dickhead appealing to it being flat and level to assert he could derive curve from it, suddenly I need to be put into a separate room. The conversation needs to be kept under strict control and order. All very telling. So the last couple of times have been a very interesting, if anything, event at Riggs' server. So he deserves gratitude for having me, putting up with me, while I'm literally moaning at him to make my point. Even when you get what you want, a neutral platform with me in it and no control over it, you still can't win. And it'll still be deemed necessary to blame me for the constant, incessant stream of interruptions to cope with me telling you how flat you are measuring Earth when you feel that you need to put claims to me, some random YouTuber that you want to prove wrong to make your belief stack up for another couple of hours or days. It's all very telling and very amusing. So check out yesterday's show if you haven't already. You'll, like I say, need to fast forward to about the 50-minute mark in order to get a good idea of where the actual debate, where I can be heard, that is starting. But in the interim, before I sort the technical issues, you can hear literally people crying out for me to not be there because I'm apparently a demon. Get him out of here in the neutral bit. The man's a demon. He's beating us all with flat measurements.
Nathan, you see, you don't understand. That's not a neutral platform. A neutral platform is you debating McToon with somebody like Rufy moderating, or vice versa. You debating Rufy and McToon moderating. That's a neutral platform. You see?
I see. Like we said in the pre-show, what neutral means is I get a ball believer and potentially several other consensus-believing cucks surrounding me on a channel that's witnessed mainly by ball believers seeking confirmation bias. I, the ball believer, will get 30 minutes to present whatever I like And once most of the audience has got bored and buggered off, you can respond for about 3.5 seconds before I cut you off, shut you down, and call you names. That's neutral. Now, if you can come and tolerate that type of neutrality, then you are fair. I mean, let's be honest, I need every neutral advantage that I can get if I'm a bull believer appealing to flat earth measurements. But in this instance, that's what's happened. I've gone into what can only be rightly described as a neutral platform. Admittedly, with a bias towards the amount of ballers that are in there, but that's just the consensus. I can accept that and still call it neutral. Neutral is to be against the consensus in this scenario. Fine, I'll take it at the lower end of neutrality. Absolutely no issue. Because I can still beat them with their own measurements every time they appeal to anything suggesting that they're going to prove sphericity with. I'll just point out how flat Earth is being measured for their claim in every single instance of their claims. Now, don't get me wrong, again, I'll be told that I'm the one making claims when I point out how flat you need Earth to be measured when you make a claim suggesting we've got a sphere beneath our feet. And when I refute that by pointing out how flat you require Earth to be measured, I'll be told that's a claim I'm making. Because then you can brace against the claim I've made, actually pointing out how flat you require Earth to be measured in all instances and without exception. We're going to listen to a bit more. So the sterilised, you'll get 100 quid if you don't swear at anybody is yesterday's show, which I've incorrectly numbered. It's 2553, although at the moment it's 2552 in the numbering structure. I'll just change that when I get an opportunity. But it's correct on the thumbnail. It's 2553, Worldwide Debate 7. You can call this Worldwide Debates 8, based on, us covering some of the information. It doesn't necessarily mean there's been 8 of them. I think there's actually been 6. But here we are covering some of the worldwide debate material, hence the numbering structure. If anybody goes, well, that's not the right number, you're like, yeah, it is. I'll make up the numbers according to what I think. Anyway, anybody got anything to comment before we actually transition to listening to the currently members only 8-hour interaction between me and Worldwide Debates last week? Has anybody got anything to add before we get back into it like we were in the pre-show?
Yeah, just one question. Has Bob, the map guy, responded to you or no?
One more time, you're a little bit quiet.
Or sorry, I said, has Wayne, the map guy, responded to you yet or no?
He did respond to me. I read out his email that he responded to me with after copyright striking me. And I wrote him a response after all was said and done. In other words, as far as I was concerned, the matter had been concluded. And amicably so. I'm like, fine, whatever. And then instead of just walking away, he decided he would get engaged in flat Earth versus globe Earth debates about the wrong direction fallacy, ascribing north to the top of a sphere Earth because of magnetic field lines. So I got quite snippy with him. I'm like, how dare you copyright strike me, concede, putting me to the headache and hassle as about 33, 34 other people have done previously, in an attempt to take my channel off me, threatening the income of my kids. The ability to feed them hangs on me being able to earn money, people giving me cash apps and being able to broadcast. And he's decided, because he doesn't like his face on one of my thumbnails, that he's going to copyright strike me for that, on a video that's had less than 1,000 views. Like, an inconsequential, for him, video is worthy of putting me and my ability to feed my kids in jeopardy. But after that's been resolved, amicably, and I've changed the thumbnail, which wasn't done because he just got in touch and said, can you take my face off a thumbnail, which would have been adhered to if he'd have just asked. He decided to go through the DMCA or whatever it is, copyright system to do that. All right, you'd rather threaten my ability to feed my kids than just contact me by email. It's not like I'm difficult to contact. My email's below the video he struck. Anyway, we resolved the issue, and then he starts getting into, well, north... That's azimuth, just so this dumb shit retard idiot Wayne from the map reading company has it reiterated in this particular episode. He suggested that horizontal only degrees from north called azimuth, used for directionality in mapping, is the top of a ball. Now, based on that, I said he was not only stupid, he was employing a fallacy named after his suggestion that horizontal azimuth is capable of being described with the convention of altitude for the top and bottom of things. Absolutely not. The man's a complete moron. He's letting his heliocentric religious belief cloud his judgment when teaching people how to use horizontal azimuth with a compass. His justification being, the compass rocks, well, after levelling for horizontal azimuth and degrees in the horizontal from north. That's your justification for, well, actually, this horizontal convention describes perpendicular altitude when describing the top and bottom of things. Like, no, man, you're a moron. I made it explicitly clear that Wayne is a moron, doesn't understand his own conventions he's teaching, therefore a fraud. It's like, if you're suggesting to me that horizontal only azimuth describes something with an altitude convention, then that's potentially going to mislead people who are trying to use a map. Hence, it's got a fallacy named after it, the wrong direction fallacy. So why are you, Wayne, charging people, you bloody fraud, when you don't even understand horizontality for azimuth and direction? You think you're a map reading company, but you don't understand horizontality for azimuth. How dare you charge people, you fraud. Now, I also told him to piss off and never darken my door again, so I didn't expect a response from him. But I did read out my very cutting email response when he started asking me about the wrong direction fallacy, and telling me about some person that's emailing him who happened to be a one-deck flat earther that's not me. So there we go. That was my general level of disdain towards Wayne from the map reading company when he used the wrong direction fallacy after putting in jeopardy my ability to feed my kids. What a complete scumbag. He's not the first. He won't be the last. That's how people react to me pointing out things like horizontality, perpendicular altitude, linear distance measurement for flat linear radial values, angles acquired from flat baselines to draw on nice pretty pictures of balls that you'll convolute altitude in the vertical with direction in the horizontal. When your religious belief in actually being atop the conventions used to better describe the movement of the lights will lead you to want to threaten another man's ability to father his children. That's to say, people send social services round saying that I beat and abuse my children. I do not. People send the police around because they're terrified of me and suggest to the police that they're scared of me and I'm threatening them, when I, in reality, couldn't give a crap about most of the people who come across my path after I finish dealing with them on the show, but for the fact that they send the police and social services round. And people continuously report me to YouTube, suggesting that my videos aren't worthy of monetization, and I have to appeal. Now, I win every single time. Same goes for copyright striking me incessantly. There's been in excess of 30 over the last 11 years. From fart-sniffing wankers just like Wayne from the map reading company, who feel oh so threatened that their ball belief is being challenged, and they and their flat earth measurements are being discussed by me. So they copyright strike me. It's been happening dozens and dozens and dozens of times. That's what happens when you describe something as simple as a flat earth linear mile measurement, or a flat earth altitude measurement, or a flat earth eye level measurement, or a flat earth directionality. Those things leave people very threatened, and it does leave me with a lump in my throat. You know, why should I have to suffer such horrendous treatment? Why is this socially acceptable? To completely lie about what I do, who I am, how I behave, because you're threatened about your religious belief in being on a ball. But that's the life I lead. Smash the Ko-Fi link if you actually like what I do and are happy that I put up with that kind of shit, so I can bring you material about how flat Earth is measured, and how people who challenge that notion are using flat earth measurements to challenge it. If you like that, smash the PayPal link. Join as a patron. Anything else? He made the book, by the way. What was his... I can never say your name. Gakushi.
Oh, your book is out?
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons it's been delayed. So I got it back to proofread it and make sure I was happy. I actually got it in a ready-to-publish format. And I was like, this molten iron core chapter could probably do with the insertion of the false direction fallacy and an extra anecdote about Wayne the wanker. So I'm like, it's in front of me. I can edit it. So I did. I'm like, I'll just make a couple of changes. It'll take a couple of hours. 3 days later, we're reading through it for about the 5th time going, I'm sure we can get this out to him, the publisher, by midnight. And when he got it, he's like, this says version 14 and you sent me 13.5 that I've already spent quite a long time formatting. This isn't a new version, is it? I'm like, Paula, tell him it is. So my wife's like, yeah, it is. It's been altered. But there's not that many alterations. It's not that big a deal. When in reality, we had made quite heavy alterations to the Molten Iron Core chapter to incorporate Wayne into it. And that's only happened in the last couple of months, right? So that inevitably is probably the main cause why it's even more delayed than it was already. But so be it. I mean, I think it's worth it. I mean, what it might cost me a couple of £100 in profits from book sales over the course of a couple of months, let's just say. Well, so what? You know, because of people like Len going, just go in this server for a day and don't swear on your live show. Easy. Well, that means I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to be stressing at the fact that I've gone, no, I do want to incorporate the false direction fallacy into the Molten Iron Core chapter. It's relevant, very relevant, and is cementable in the mind's eye of the reader if there's an example with an anecdote. Okay.
So when will your book release then? A couple of weeks or what?
A couple of weeks, yeah. I've been saying that for about 6 months. In fact, I've been saying it for about 2 years. Just a couple of weeks. It used to be. It could be published now if I wanted to. It's just being polished up by a couple of people who say it needs to be improved. But it could be polished and finished tomorrow. You know, but they're still doing it. They still want to edit it and polish it and make it better. What's that you say? Now you're the authors of it and you were going to keep it? Yeah, that happened. There's been a lot of delays, but I'm very proud of the product. You know, like I say, I've had a version of it in a format that I would see it as being the format that somebody would get it. But just like I say, with a chapter that has now been fairly heavily changed. But for the Molten Iron Core chapter being altered, I have actually seen the previous version without those amendments reach my desk and been downloaded on Apple Books and Kindle Books. So on my iPad, I've got both of the ebook versions. That's what I was going through when I'm like, well, I could make a change. So I've seen what it will look like as a product with a cover, and you know, there's been lots of registration happening with various different authorities that the publisher's taking care of. So each time I ask him about, like, will it get registered for libraries? He's like, yes, this particular number will be assigned to it. And I've already inquired and paid the fees because I was asking, do I need to pay these fees? And he's doing that. So, you know, he's earning his crust in that regard. So there's quite a lot of the admin already been done. And like I say, the last thing that he asked me for was pre-formatted pictures. That is to say, they weren't in between the text, they're just separate. So I've sent him those. Haven't heard anything back since. I can only assume no news is good news. I'll let you know when it's out. It might be that he gets back to me tomorrow and goes, it's done. Just need you to check it. And then we'll press go and it'll be available for purchase. So it could be tomorrow for all I know.
Hey, Nathan, how about this? This is funny. At Nathan Oakley 1980. Actually, I have decided to up it. Oh, really? Who you are, we have no idea. It's a guy called Sour Pounder in chat. Debate McToon on a neutral platform for -2 hours. You get 2,000. He has a counter of almost 5 years and no debate. Your move. Yeah, like you'll see that 2,000. I'll tell you what, send the 2,000 to Len. He'll store it. And then if Nathan wants to, we'll arrange it. These people, they come up with these freaking bullshit stories that, Has anybody ever gotten paid for anything?
Yeah, I've been paid.
But you did.
Yes, I have. So somebody offered me, they didn't contact me via my live stream chat. They sent me an email and said, I would like you to debate on this platform on this date. I will pay you. And then they said a figure. Now, I agreed, and they immediately paid it to me, and then I went and did it. After I did the debate, they then said, here's the other amount, as in, I misinterpreted what they were offering, and they were offering to pay me the amount prior to the debate and the same amount after I'd actually done the debate. So I got paid twice. But that's, I just
Right. So you got paid first, though, before you went. So you went knowing you had some money. So that's my point. $72,000, then Nathan will debate.
Yeah, I'll debate wherever you like. I've already put that out there. I did a video about it. Hold on a second. I'll dig out that video while you guys talk amongst yourself. Go ahead.
Make 2-1 do it, man. You're wasting your energy. Make 2-1 do it.
Yeah, but Neil, Toon was in that worldwide hashtag debates on the hashtag
he could have debated me for free
last week.
He could have debated for free.
He could have just jumped in and got his point across for free.
No, instead he'd rather tell me what a bad Christian I am for sitting there listening to it as he sat there and listened to it.
Yeah, but we'll take money off him, but I don't know who's talking on McToon's behalf. Sorry, McToonstonies' behalf.
All he's told me is that I don't know geometry, not one bit.
Yeah, that's what I do for a living. So if somebody wants to debate me and you want to pay me to go somewhere specific, then feel free. You know, the links are below the video. Now, I don't immediately assume that the person's lying. I mean, often people come up with pie-in-the-sky suggestions that they'll pay you to do something and then they just don't pay you. But yeah, I mean, if somebody flashes the cash in front of me, I'll go and debate. No worries. Show me the colour of your money. Send me money. See, it's really easy.
Now, the guy that asked you to debate, I'm assuming he was a flat earther that paid you up front, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference. If this guy's a baller, which I'm under the assumption he is, he uses certain phraseologies that make me think he's the person. Well, we'll see. Money talks.
Let's not discuss it too much. What happens when people are sincere in this regard, right? People give me money just to exist on YouTube. That is to say, yesterday I got paid $100. Why? Because I went somewhere and fulfilled the challenge. Same person, Len, has given me plenty of donations prior to now. Now, the person who was suggesting that I do something, in this case debate, paid me in advance to demonstrate willing. Right, here you go. No, I'm not messing you around. I will sincerely pay you. Here's some money. Now, when somebody contacts me and says, with a PayPal that's for £20, let's just say, I would be really interested in seeing you debate this person, and I'll pay you X amount to do so. Now, when you're sending me 20 quid just to send a message, which people have done before, they've just sent me money so that they can get my attention and show their sincerity. When you contact me via my live stream chat, in terms of my priority to that, it's like so low. It means nothing. Now, if you want to put your money where your mouth is and see me absolutely destroy Toon like I destroyed him in Antarctica with just a few words that he needed to rumpus and rumble straight through, right? Talk about where guns are when I'm pointing out how flat he measures Earth there. Well, I don't mind. He can rumpus the living crap out of me for 2 straight hours. Tell me I've lost over and over and over again. If I'm being paid, I couldn't care less. Oh, yeah. What, because you haven't allowed me to say a single word, you've won? No worries. I'm the winner. I'm getting paid to be here. That would be my attitude. Now, if you think that you're going to get me to go somewhere with the promise of you paying me, no, definitely not. Just pay me. Now, I'm a man of my word. If you pay me, I will do what I've agreed to with you. But that would involve me negotiating with you, coming to a conclusion about how much will be paid, being paid it, and then doing the work that I'm paid for. I've had a pretty colourful career history over my time, but generally speaking, I can be trusted to be doing what I've negotiated to be paid to do. If you want to pay me to debate somebody, when, let's be honest, right, the reality is, Toon could debate me for 0 pence. 0 cents, $0, £0, 0. He just needs to come in. And he did. Toon came in this server. Not this server, a server I happen to be in when broadcasting. I've never owned a server. But he came in to tell me that he'd seen the 24-hour sun. My response, you're measuring Earth flat, Toon. Before I got to the end of the sentence, he was talking about guns and rumpusing me. So, like I say, he can come in and rumpus the crap out of me all he likes for free. No problem at all. I mean, after the fact, he can blame my mute button or something. But it doesn't cost a dime. Now, if you want to go somewhere where he can just mute me to his heart's content by talking through every response I deliver for 2 straight hours. As long as I'm getting paid, no worries. I don't mind giving you guys pain relief. Toon talked through you for 2 hours, therefore winning. Okay. Sorry? He won? Okay.
Nathan, he's just a bullshitter. He's saying, say yes, like Nathan said yes just now about, I've counted 5 times. And he's saying, well, let Nathan say yes live. He's already said, show me the money.
Yeah, debate you
and
wherever you
he'll do
like.
it.
No problem. If you're offering to pay me to debate somewhere specific for money, yeah, just pay me. No problem. I put out a specific advert. That's why I've got my iPad. I'll go and dig it out. This is already on the record. Yeah, I detail the 3 ways you can interact with me. 1, you join my live show for free. Or interact via the live stream chat like this guy's doing. He's interacting with me. It's more than Toon generally does, let's be honest. Right? Number 2, you happen to be in my presence. In person. Like around me, on the street, at a convention. You happen to bump into me. Oh, are you Nathan Oakley? Yeah, I am. Check it out. You're interacting and no money's exchanging hands. So that's way number 2. Way number 3, give me money. Arrange, like normal civil human beings do, an arrangement, a contract, if you will, where you have me at a particular place at a particular time to perform a particular function for an agreed amount of money. Like a whore. I'll be your whore. Just pay me. Or
yeah,
come
now
here.
there's a no. See, he's going to set it up. Set it up. You said you will give $2,000 for Nathan to debate Toon on a neutral platform. He said yes, send the money, and he'll go do it. What's there to set up? You got to send the money now, you dumb bastard.
Yeah, we could spend the entire show talking about this. But like I say, I've encountered plenty of liars throughout my life. People who suggest they'll do something and then they don't. Now, I would like to wager 1 shiny English pound that this person in chat will never send me a single penny. But they want to lie to me.
Yes, here it is. Here it is. This will be the last they say. Here it is. It's all true, right? Here we go. Nathan Oakley, 1980, no mate, neutral platform, no mute button. You cannot think without a mute button. Get the hell out of here. We know what he's about. Goodbye. You'll never see that money anyway. He's a bullshitter. Sorry to waste your time.
Yeah, but I am, as I say, more than happy and willing to debate anybody anywhere if they're willing to pay me right. This is what I do for a living. So what, if you think I won't be tempted by money? Absolutely I will. Yeah, just got to actually show it to me, though. Not say, well, let's set it up where you go to this neutral platform without a mute button. Well,
So he says he'll send it to a neutral platform, the money. Okay, we know he's full of shit now.
No, let's just get that clear. Oh, no, I see. In negotiation, it seems that when you say, I'll pay you, meaning me $2,000, to do something, what you actually meant, because you're a liar, I'll pay a neutral platform $2,000. Take that fistful of money and ram it up your own arsehole. That's what you can do with that money. Because you're not going to be paying it to me. You've already proven yourself a liar. Now, I don't want a neutral platform to be paid $2,000. No, you don't seem to understand that I'm doing this to feed children. That's not why I'm not doing it so a neutral platform can earn $2,000. Maybe you are delusional. Yes, of course, you're a bull-believing spastic. Why would I expect anything less? You think I give up my time to fund neutral platforms? What a wanker. No, mate. No, you delusional dumb fuck. No, you'd have to pay me. Hello? No, he doesn't want to do that. He just wants me for free. Yeah. Yeah, you want the whore to suck your dick for free. I get it. Yeah, she doesn't want that, though. She wants crack. This whore wants crack money. Okay?
See, I'm under the belief that this is Toon himself. He comes in under the name of Sour Pounder, and just certain phraseologies he's used that match the phone call. You understand what I'm saying, Nathan?
Not really. I don't really pay that much attention to this man. A lot of these people are heavily obsessed with him.
The phone calls that he leaves, you know, when I read them, because it gives me a readout of what he says, certain phrases he uses. It's Toon. You know, Nathan, what it is they really want to hang out with us badly. Same thing with Edda Bear and Bev. Now, we gave them a shot, right? Unbanned them, and look what happened. Within a minute, Bev was being a freaking idiot. And he's banned again. I mean, it's a joke. Go find your own crew.
Well, they might want to be our friends because they've got exactly the same measurements of us. You know, we all share the same measurements. The flat Earth, you know, the 8 inches per mile, linear mile squared. We've all got the same measurements, haven't we, guys?
I've actually found that video.
There's a couple of things here. It's like, if this guy wants to send his money to a neutral guy, that's fine, as long as Nathan gets the money before the debate. But he won't do that either. That's the thing.
Yeah, like yesterday. I don't have any particular desire to go back into worldwide debates, right? As much as Riggs is a good host, he's very amiable considering I'm moaning about him to make a point. He's being used as my muse, in spite of me actually agreeing with his position in terms of retaining a decent level of control and therefore producing a good show. Those are generally the rules I abide by. But people want neutral platforms. Yeah, that's what I was doing yesterday. Do you know why? Because I got paid. Literally, someone gave me 100 quid and then I went into a platform that potentially is going to talk through me, call me a liar, suggest that I've made claims that I'm refuting, that sort of thing. I've got no real desire to do that, but I got paid. Ding, 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 ding. So in I went. Yeah, really easy. Will you go and do this for me? Yeah. Now, do I need Len to pay me in advance? Absolutely not. He's given me so much money over the years. Why would I want him to prove he's going to pay me? I know he is. So I just went in, and what do you know? He paid me immediately. But that's why I went in, to the neutral platform yesterday. Halfway through being there, because I wasn't announced, I was in the very public neutral bit. I was told, oh, if you want to run a show, we want to put you in control with a mute button. That's what I got. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And I'm going to moan at you. This is Riggs, who after the fact I'm being very sort of hypocritical by saying, actually, I agree with him. I'm playing devil's advocate on behalf of my opponents who say they need neutral platforms. And what do you know? Somebody in the comments section lying about giving me money because they need a neutral platform. What, like the one I was in yesterday or the one I was in a week ago? Yeah? That sort of neutral platform where I don't have control and people can talk and filibuster while I'm delivering a response to their use of flat earth measurements. That sort of neutral platform. Yeah, like I say, I don't mind doing it. For money.
Yeah, now he's saying $2,000 and I give it to you and then you don't show. Yeah, he's a game player. I'm going to time his ass out.
I just made an example, right? For you people in the Discord server, I don't know how they heard this, but they went, you're only here because someone's paying you to be here and not swear, aren't you, Nathan? That was said to me. Now, it wasn't exactly a private conversation between Len and myself, but it was in one of the after shows, like late into a 4 or 5 hour show, where he's like, I'd pay you 100 quid if you could go in and make it more shareable by not swearing. I'm like, 100 quid? Okay, I'll bear that in mind. Hundo, eh? A couple of days later, where's my book? Oh, I don't need to pester my publicist. There's 100 quid on the table. I'll go in and do it. So you think I'm not a man of my word? No, I've definitely been paid to go and do debates. Is anybody out there saying, I paid Nathan and he ran away with the money? No, but you are saying, I'll pay Nathan, actually give it to a neutral platform. You're projecting your own dishonesty onto me. That's what you're doing.
Actually, Super Blaze just said something very smart. I didn't pick up on it. He said he's never said dollars. He said 2,000. He's right. He never said dollars. The guy's a game player, and I'm going to time him out.
Yeah, just liars, deceivers, cheats, scammers. That's what we have to deal with. That's what you've got to be a baller. You've got to lie, cheat, and deceive. Suggest that going somewhere where I can be perma-muted and talked through is neutral. That's what really is happening. I'm going to lie that you'll get paid a sum of money to go somewhere that is biased against you in the most heavy degree possible, to give an advantage to a man who feels butthurt after going to Antarctica to affirm his bias and was told he was measuring Earth flat there because he was. All of them were. Other than Dumbo Dave McKeegan, who couldn't quite cope with a tripod, they all measured Earth flat there. Now, in the case of the person I'm being asked to debate for an amount of money that's going to be paid to me / going to be paid to a neutral platform, yeah, that same butthurt dude could come here for free. And with that in mind, I'm going to play this video out, so check it out. I'm going to share it in the Hangout so you guys can see it too. Just tell me if you can see my screen. See that?
Yep.
I'm going to tell you about the 3 ways you can get in contact and communicate with Nathan Oakley. Number 1, you can join my live streams weekdays at 2 p.m. for free. Number 2, you can pay me to come onto your show. Get in touch at nathanoakley1980@aol.com and we can arrange a fee for me to be on your show. Number 3, be related to, a friend of, or generally in the vicinity of Nathan Oakley. I'm recording something, I'm really sorry. This interaction also comes for free.
There you go. It's not like I'm being dishonest. I'm offering out my services to anybody who wants to pay for them. And if you don't want to pay for them, like McToon, when he was alleged to be in Antarctica making his flat earth measurements, he could come on the show for free to tell me, because he feels the need to tell me these things, that he's measured Earth flat for 24 hours. Amazing. Thanks so much for telling me. What's that you say? Where are the guns? That interaction came for free. But if you need your little safe space, you need me in your safe space, that is. Right? Let's not pretend that what you want is neutrality. You need to be in your little safe space where you can shut me down at a moment's notice if I say something that disturbs you, that you feel threatened by. That's what you really mean by neutrality. We discussed it at the beginning of the live show and at the end of the pre-show. That's what you need, a little safe space. But you'll call it neutral to make yourselves feel better about having the ability to shut me down at a moment's notice. Yeah? If you actually wanted me to debate these people in neutral platforms, then when I was in a neutral platform with McToon himself, he would debate me. He didn't, right? McToon's a complete coward. Now, I was there, like Neo, throwing off Smiths. Left and right, one after the next, for 8 hours straight. Was he too busy for 8 hours? He's in a frickin' Discord server. No man who's got the ability to join a Discord server is too busy to do anything. You're in a Discord server. But what did he do instead of debating me for free in a neutral platform with the assistance of 30 ballers around him? Little mini versions of him, little replicant Smiths. Did he debate me? No, he was a bit too busy. He had the time to listen and then criticise Neil for not being a good Christian, for not jumping in like he wasn't jumping in. But he wanted to project his own inability to cope with Neo throwing Smith off left and right, right? He didn't want to be a little replicant Smith that time. No. He needs a little safe space with his own mute button. What's that? Oh, it's to stop me having one. I didn't have one yesterday, even when I was offered one. No, you can keep your mute button. It's okay. I don't need it to beat the living piss out of every single one of you, including McToon. That will never, ever change. Now, I'll sit eating a pizza for a couple of hours while Toon mutes me and tells me how he's won. As long as I'm getting paid to do that, then it's worth my time. Yeah? But when you're here, Toon isn't opening his mouth in neutral platforms that I'm joining and staying in for 8 hours, with him there watching on. Yeah, he's not got the balls to debate me, because he knows what'll happen. Like what happened to him in Antarctica, allegedly. He had his pants pulled down and his arse smacked by me with his own measurements. That's what'll happen this time. If Toon grows a pair of bollocks and actually joins one of these neutral platforms when I'm in there. Oh, he did. He just didn't open his cowardly mouth, did he?
No, Nathan, you deflected with measurements. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what he said. He tried to deflect with measurements. End quote. Toon. Was that when I wasn't being paid to talk to Toon about measurements of Earth that he was making? What's that? I tried to deflect to your measurements of Earth that are flat? Oh, my bad. So sorry. I didn't realise that we were talking about guns, like when the Chilean government were escorting people away for being there without papers, like those dudes are alleged to be there with papers to measure Earth flat and call me for free. So I don't need £2,000 rooms to give people like Toon the ability to talk to me. There's an open door here. Anyone can join. Even from Antarctica, you can join this show. I mean, like, literally, the possibilities for joining are limitless. Even from Antarctica, man, have managed to join without any issue. So, I mean, little old you can join at any time, right, if you're watching this. But if you need me in your safe space, don't bullshit me about it being neutral. If you need me in your safe space, yeah, you can pay me for that. But I will actually expect to receive money. Not, when I said I'll pay you, I meant I'll put it in escrow. No, that's not going to feed my kids or pay my mortgage, I'm afraid, you stupid idiots. You know, what do you think this is? My first rodeo? And I've been doing this for 10 years, debating people on a show that's had the door open. I've been porn bombed, copyright striked, and constantly reported for having material that's not worthy of monetization. Every single show has had that for 10 years. I'm still here, talking about how you measure Earth flat. And you think you're going to entice me with money in some neutral platform's bank account, do you? You dumbos. Sad.
Well, here's the thing. In worldwide debate, that would have been the perfect spot because everybody would have took a step back and stood silent, and he could have been you and him, and he knows that, and it scared the life out of him.
The thing is, Toon doesn't want to debate Nathan. He just wants to kiss him on the neck. Very gently.
He's only got 8 inches, mate. He's only got 8 inches per mile squared.
Yeah. While Toon pretends that he wants to debate people like me, even though he has got the ability to and has joined this show to be told with a deflection to measurements that he's making from a flat Earth, you've all got that ability. Now, like I say, if you need me in your safe space, just get a little relationship together with me. It's not that difficult. Yeah? People pay me to go out and do stuff. Now, sometimes I'll do it for the minimal amount, like expenses. So when Vice Media interviewed me, I had to travel all the way down to Ali Pali in London. Now, that was quite an imposition from my perspective because I'm poor. But after negotiating with them, that is to say, you actually want me to engage you with my time being the detrimental bit of this equation for clout. They're like, yeah, like pay my expenses, pay for a rail ticket and a taxi for me to get to where you are. And if you pay me, I'll come. And they went, okay, we'll pay your expenses. And they did. That is to say, they agreed to pay and they paid, as far as I can remember. But that's the minimum amount. Like, you'll cover what it costs me to do this for you. Now, as far as debating's concerned, that's what I do for a living. This is what I do for a living. Now, I get that to make you feel comfortable, like you could be in a position where you're going to be made to look stupid and you need to be able to shut that down at the earliest opportunity if you sense it happening. You'll want me to be in your safe space. But then I don't earn any money from it. There's no point in doing this. The whole point of doing this now, right now, live as I am, is to say, support me via the Cash App. Ko-Fi, it's called. It's linked below. PayPal, it's linked below. Patreon, it's linked below. That's why I do this, to get super chats. Why? Because that's what keeps the lights on. What's that? Come and do it for free. Come and paint my house. That's my attitude when people deal with me in that way. You know, I'll be a lot more crude and tell them to suck on something they prefer not to. But that's the same equivalence, right? You want me to be your whore, do you? No, you just have to pay me. But by doing this here, yeah, where you can join for free to challenge me, I invite at every single introduction to express your views on the nature of Earth. Now, that's not a lie either. Anybody who comes through this door will and does and has always gotten the opportunity to express their view. Yeah? You listen to any of the shorts videos. When someone's actually putting a point, to me, I listen to it. Now, often I'll get to the end and go, is it okay if I respond to you without an incessant stream of interruptions, like I didn't give to you when you delivered your position to me clearly and concisely without interruption? I've always offered the ability to present your position. Now, the fact that after it's been presented, and then I respond with a prerequisite flat earth that you've measured, you feel the need to shut that down immediately, and I won't allow that on my show. What a shock. Yeah, I will be heard on my own show. Shocking. What's that? You don't think it's fair that after I refute your use of flat earth measurement, la 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 la, I can talk straight through you when you start talking about how I've measured earth flat with my example. Yeah, you don't get to do that here. Shocking that I'd want to hear my own voice on my own show. But on other people's show, if you want me there, because you need the confirmation from me, you need to show that I'm wrong, because that will make you feel better, showing that a YouTuber who didn't invent celestial navigation, isn't flying perpendicular at altitude, isn't at flight level parallel with the ground, hasn't surveyed the ground flat from sea level. You want to make me wrong. Okay, I mean, that'll make you feel better for a couple of hours, and I will do that. I can offer you that service, right? Like a lonely man going to a whore needs a little bit of attention and love. Now, I'll do that for money, but not for some neutral platform, not for escrow to have money. I want the money. Yeah, that's what I'm appealing to when I say people who just like what I'm doing now, please send me PayPals. I'd like to keep the lights on.
Some strange people. There's one guy in chat saying, "Hi Nathan, please tug your balls on my chin." What's wrong with these people? And he said he'll pay. I will pay for Nathan to humiliate me. Robert, there's something wrong with you, Robert. Go get some professional help.
Join. If you want to be humiliated by, don't get me wrong, I get that as well, right? There's a certain level of, masochism, where people just want me to shout them down. Right? They want to put some bullshit assertion to me because they know that I'm just going to tear a strip off them. I get it. Some people derive a masochistic pleasure from that. Okay? And I'm no sadist. I'm not taking pleasure from punishing you for your behaviour when I tell you off, or tell you to shut up, or tell you to suck my balls because you've made a demand of me that's unreasonable. Like, you're not my boss. You don't get to demand answers from me. Well, you just won't answer anything. Well, I'll do whatever I like. Right? That's my prerogative. None of you dickheads are my boss. That's why I'm sat in this position. So I can be with my kids at any opportunity. I can cancel any show. I don't have to talk to you. But if I choose to engage with you on a neutral platform, you can scream at the moderator that I'm a demon and need removing. That's what you can do. Yeah? That's your prerogative. A bit of a language warning. So a lot of this show did have very strong language in it. It was an impromptu joining of this particular server, just to give you a little bit of background. It had gone dead one of the times that I'd stayed connected to my own panel in G+. And I said, do you want me to connect to one of the servers so you can have somebody to listen to while I'm doing the dishwasher? They're like, yeah. So I just scrolled through random servers, went into whichever had people in there, joined, and then disappeared and carried on doing my chores. And then about 20 minutes, 30 minutes in, it's like, is that Nathan? Is that Nathan there? Is Nathan going to be talking to us? I'd love to talk about blah, blah, blah. You can get the general gist from that. But there is quite strong language, so be prepared. And then shut the fuck up. You're making everybody around you more stupid. Now sit down and shut up.
I'll explain the triangle that
you don't need to explain anything to me, you fucking retard.
So the angle,
you don't need to explain anything, you don't understand it.
Along the ground.
Hello? Why are you explaining this, you fucking retard? You don't understand. Just to give you a bit of context, in the pre-show we were listening to this, and at this point, I'm explaining that in celestial navigation, you measure with respect to a flat plane an angle to a star. That degree angle measurement value is minus from 90. That's the 90 degrees to your position with respect to a 90-degree triangle, with 90 being at the GP of the star, moving to your position where you've measured the angle. So you minus the measured angle from 90 and then times it by 60 to give you a radial value for a circle of equal elevation. Now, I compared this guy, IC Spin is called, to Zoolander in the pre-show, because after having what I've just explained to you detailed in excruciating detail with him interrupting consistently and constantly, how we derive this flat linear radial value in nautical miles, the calculation that's used to acquire it, and the degree off a flat earth used to measure it, he asked, But how do we get the distance in nautical miles? Like Zoolander asking why male models. Now, given that he didn't have the slightest idea that's this guy, Icy Spin, he's also, yesterday, suggested that this was him handing me my ass. Is now launching into telling me how these triangles work. Bearing in mind that one side of these triangles that we're using that are measured off a flat Earth are for him bent. But he feels he needs to tell me about this after I've explained it to him multiple times without him understanding, and indeed confessing to not understanding a single word that I've explained. What do you mean at 90 to my position? That's why he's being told to sit down and shut up. Stand it!
I'm trying to understand.
Well, don't!
I'm trying to understand.
Sit down and shut up!
You can help.
See? I'm just trying to understand. It's like some kid in a class. Excuse me, sir, I'm now going to incessantly tell you that I'm trying to understand this while you try and explain it. That's what's happening. No, it's all right. I've tried to explain it. You were too fucking dumb to understand.
Please don't swear.
People try to understand. They keep their mouth shut and their ears open.
Please don't. If you do, you'll be asked to leave. You don't bother coming back on stock accounts. You can go back tomorrow. You'll be welcome back. Thank you.
Look, we could find a way to work.
His intelligence.
We could work with Nathan, get on the same train as him, not FE, but like the same vibe, and communicate in a coherent way.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Or we can just overspeak each other.
I'm being calm, and I'm trying. He's explained how to do this cell nav, and I'm trying to
see this dude. Let's just bring it up on screen. You see here where it says McFlatty? You see that? That's McToon. Not saying anything. In this neutral platform that I have no control over. In the public area. Just so we're all clear. People are asking me to go and debate this guy for $2,000. I'm on a neutral platform. No mute button, loads of ballers piling in, little versions of Smith. And there's McToon. Is he saying anything? Is he debating me? No, he's an abject coward.
Reason it out. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I understood that the first fucking time he told us. You don't understand. I understand man who's still talking, quote, does not understand. I get it.
I'm still
talking. I don't understand this, so I think everybody should hear my voice indefinitely, given that I'm the one who don't understand. That's the mentality of these fart-sniffing wankers. Oh, because you don't understand, you think you need to be heard indefinitely, do you, Dumbo? This is him suggesting he beat me, by the way. Dumb! You don't understand, but I get it! Yeah, I don't understand, but definitely want to be the teacher here.
I am.
Hey,
I'm
mods, Nathan is clearly a fucking problem here.
Now, right, while I'm being challenged to explain something that a Dumbo, quote, does not understand, and I'm telling him, just sit down and shut the fuck up, Icy Spin, you complete moron. You're not going to be the teacher here, you're a dumbass, right, a complete buffoon. What's that we hear from the sidelines? Nathan's causing trouble again. Yeah, this is the neutrality you need. I win, and that's a big problem.
This is Nathan's show. We're all here for him. That's the truth.
Fine.
We're all here for him. He
in the words of a million different ball-believing cucks, you just don't understand.
If it's Nathan and six people talking, then those 6 people talking need to get in line because we're all trying to speak to Nathan. So
yeah, I agree.
Let's just let the mods deal with it.
Nathan is the mod. One degree per 60 nautical miles doesn't. It's a complete.
Nobody wants to hear from you.
That's a complete lie. He said Nathan is the mod. No, I'm not. But he's there with his excuses in tow. Now Nathan's going to be muting. No, I'm not. That's not my server. I don't control it. It wasn't my room. It was a public area. That's the same area I was in yesterday, and demanded to be moved to an area that I could control if I wanted to. But no, that's a lie. So again, Baller decides I join a neutral platform. It's suggested that I'm in control of it. No. By demeanor, that's by presence. I am absolutely in control here. Let's make no mistake about the reality of what that man actually meant when he said that. It doesn't mean I'm in control of the server. It's not my server, it's Riggs' server. I'm there as a guest in the public neutral platform bit. The one that you all beg and plead me to be in. Yeah? The one that I'm just being offered $2,000 to be in. Why would I need to be paid $2,000? I'm in there now. But what that man actually means is, Nathan, you're controlling this situation quite nicely, aren't you? Yes, I am. Doesn't matter what platform on, I will retain control in those scenarios because that's my personality. Yeah? Some men lead. Alpha males lead and take control of situations. That's what I do. Now you want to turn that around. Nathan's in control. Yeah, I am. That's correct. I'm controlling this room.
You said you don't understand.
Can I quote you? I don't understand.
I don't think Nathan explained it very clearly.
Oh, really? I think you're just a fucking retard who doesn't understand. You just don't understand, mate. I've got diagrammatical examples going by. You can go and look up what Salnav uses in terms of the angles, or you could yak through the top of me. Do you think you yakking through the top of me is going to help you understand, you fucking dimwit? No, you talking while I'm talking isn't going to help you understand when, quote, I don't understand, end quote, you. Yeah, you don't understand, so shut the fuck up. I've told you multiple times. Yeah, we get it, you don't understand. So keep your fucking mouth shut and try and pay attention. Yeah, that applies to every one of you dimwit ball believers out there. Yeah, you just don't understand. Like this man, IC Spin, quote, just does not understand. Now you can try and project that onto me, like I'm the arbiter of Salnav. Now I've gone out and learned what Salnav is for my own benefit, and when put in a position like I am in these neutral platforms, to be desired by every bull-believing cuck around me. You just heard it. Yeah, we're here to hear what Nathan's got to say. Not what this IC Spin's got to say. Nobody gives a shit. And he, quote, doesn't understand, end quote, anyway. So why would we be hearing his voice? Oh, because he wants to be in control. He wants to be in charge. He's not. And feels that I am somehow obliged to give him an explanation of Salnav? Nah, I'll give it for an audience's benefit because I'll earn money from that. Like, while we're listening to this back... That's my material. I can play it to an audience that I e-beg to and ask to hit the PayPal link and Ko-Fi link for about the 4th time this show. So it's beneficial for me to retain control in a neutral platform by telling this dimwit IC Spin that he doesn't understand based on his own admission that he, quote, doesn't understand. But that's applicable to all of you. None of you understand. If you understood how the ball Earth works, you'd understand that in order to create it, you needed to measure Earth flat to do so. To put yourself inside a ball that is a glorified protractor, to derive things like orbital motions and sky vacuums from, distances to the moon based on applied linear radial values superimposed onto lights like Venus, so that the transition can be scaled with Kepler. Now that's me understanding your requirement for flat Earth measurements to believe that you are on a ball. Now, anybody challenging me to suggest that they actually are on a reification of a ball derived from flat Earth measurements immediately means what I am suggesting in this regard after a quote. I just don't understand, end quote. Not Riggs, IC Spin. Well, no, you are like this guy, IC Spin. None of you understand. If you did, you'd all be flat earthers. The fact that you still believe you're on a ball means you don't understand how flat Earth has been measured to create it. That's the long and short of this. None of you understand. I definitely do. I've researched it for 12 years.
All right, you're looping. I got it. Thank you. You're looping, though.
I hear him clear. He's coming in clear for me.
Yeah, perspective. The way things drop in the sky, like when you measure, if you measure an elevation angle to a mountain or an airplane, right, and then you watch that thing fly away from you, it doesn't descend 1 degree per 60 nautical miles.
Just say this again before I absolutely chastise this guy on the recording. I've just told this guy, you just don't understand, end quote, you, so sit down and shut the fuck up. What's he done instead? Started convoluting measurements of altitude angles to things that are moving away from you, in this case a plane. So as a consequence of him not doing as he's been told, after confessing his lack of comprehension, he's now demonstrating his idiocy based on his lack of comprehension, which he has already been told to sit down and shut the fuck up as a consequence of. Just so we're all clear, why I am now, in this recording, justified in tearing a strip off him for his own ineptitude and ignorance. We're not measuring fucking distances to GPs of planes, you stupid spastic. We're using navigation stars, you fucking retard. I'm addressing what you just said. Yeah, I heard you, you dimwitted twat. I'll just say it again for my audience with a calmer tone. So why I've called him a dim-witted spastic is because minusing from 90 and timesing by 60 the elevation angle you've measured from a flat plane to a navigation star means that we'd have to have tracked the positional information of the navigation star so we can mark the time of that navigation star's position at the point you measured the angle with it. Now, my comprehension of this is exemplary. I'm not blowing my own horn, but I do understand it. Why? Well, not because I particularly wanted to learn it, it's because I was being chastised for being a flat earther for 10 straight years. Knowing now that Earth is just measured flat means I can concisely detail the acquisition of elevation angle for straight line radial value distances for areas of equal elevation when calculating your position with navigational stars and their GPs running 90 degrees to your position you've measured Earth flat with an angle. Now, I can concisely say that whilst live. This dick is now talking about that process with a fucking aeroplane. So, don't be like this moron IC Spin. When you don't understand, sit down and shut up. Don't demonstrate how stupid you are based on your ignorance by convoluting that which you don't understand into a comparative example to try and get the better of a YouTuber. Because you will have the strip torn off you that I'm now stripping off this IC Spin guy for being a complete moron. I understand that this man is a disciple of McToon. Am I correct in that? I was told yesterday that this IC Spin guy is one of McToon's disciples. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's one of his guys, yep.
So IC Spin, the only thing I should suggest to you is that if you are following the rhetoric of McToon and you've paid him in any way, shape or form, just report him to the police for fraud. He's conned you out of money. Because it's not like you could overcome what is considered to be the lowest of the low in terms of intellectual prowess when it comes to debate. I, a flat earther, am considered at the very lowest rung, and you couldn't overcome my arguments with McToon's rhetoric that you have adhered to. So, McToon's a fraud, a con man. He has no decent position to rebut anything I say or refute anything I do. In fact, he's confirmed it for the last 5 years with his flat earth measurements that he constantly seems to appeal to. So these are your disciples, McToon. This guy, measuring elevation angles to planes. Do we track the planes in the almanac? Yeah, McToon's a retard. That's why this guy's subsequently a retard. He's listened to McToon.
You aren't.
I heard. Oh, we're not measuring planes for declinations of angles that we're going to minus from 60 and times by 90. Oh, no, that's right. We're using navigation stars, you fucking retard.
I'm just saying everything that we that we measure.
Just don't. Just don't. You've got nothing to add to this stupid conversation. Yeah, you don't understand how we use navigation stars. You think they're aeroplanes. Sit down and shut the fuck up.
I don't. I don't think stars are airplanes. I just think.
Why did you bring them up? Why'd you bring them up? Why'd you bring them up?
Okay, I'm talking. Thank you.
Yeah, you should. So what this is again filibuster the devastating defeat. I've used this comparison with aeroplanes and elevation angles. All right, well, they're not navigation stars. Why would you use them? I'm not. I immediately lie about the comparison he made about 25 seconds earlier. That's what you got to do. If you're led by a complete moron like MC Toon, then this is what you've got to do. Appeal to a false comparison with aeroplanes and then deny the premise of your own suggestion when it's pointed out to be incompatible with celestial navigation, as I've just done. Then, well, I'm still talking. What about aeroplanes that aren't navigation stars? No, I'm not making that comparison. Well, why'd you bring them up? I didn't.
Wait,
listening?
Elevation angles.
Yeah, we don't get those from planes. You brought up planes, now they recede into the distance.
Elevation angles and the relation between an elevation angle and the distance of that thing from us.
Yeah, the distance is linear and horizontal. So he's asking for how we acquire the distance, which is by measuring an angle, minusing the measured angle from 90, timesing it by 60 to give us a distance to the GP, as noted in the almanac. He's brought up a false comparison of planes and is now, like Zoolander, saying, why male models? He's just asked again, how do we get the distance, hasn't he? So again, like Zoolander, you still don't understand why male models, do you, you complete spastic? Yeah, MC Toon, these are your disciples. They're a reflection on you and your inability to come up with any decent strategy to overcome the flat Earth measurements being used, in this instance, elevation angle measurements to stars. Not aeroplanes, like this dumb fuck retard disciple of MC Toon's used. He's not been armed with anything decent by MC Toon. MC Toon's a retard. He's there in the hangout, not saying anything. Is he backing up his boy? Nah, he's too busy. But he's sat in a Discord server listening to this, to the extent that you can tell Neil he's a bad Christian for not doing anything about it. Doing anything about what? Ripping the living piss out of this stupid retard who's just used a false comparison with planes and navigation stars. Is that what my compadre on my panel should have been doing something about there, Toon? Is that what Neil should have been doing something about? Dealing with this retard disciple of yours? Now, if you were a good Christian, you'd have saved this guy from the rape he's receiving from me. You didn't. You watched on as his false equivalence was delivered and then destroyed while he chat skanked through the top of me. That's what Toon's really trained these idiots in doing. How to chat through anything that destroys your argument. This is how, when someone's talking and refuting you, you can open your mic and chat straight through the top of them. Toon's very good at that. It's like a really difficult skill. I'm addressing you.
There's a clear relationship.
Shut up! I heard you.
Dude, you didn't. Trust me, you didn't. There's a relationship between the angle that we see something in the sky and how far away it is from us. If something travels twice as far away from me, it will.
So rinse and repeat. So what he's now doing is rinsing and repeating the inverse square law for the observation of a plane receding into the distance versus elevation angle acquisition when minusing from 90 and timesing by 60 to acquire a distance. But he's still asking this under the guise of the acquisition of distance measurement. So it's Y male models again.
Appear half as big and it will drop by half in the sky. But what you're saying is that's not true. What we see in the sky, in the sky.
Oh my God. So after misrepresenting the position, he's now placed that misrepresentation of the position on my doorstep and said it's what I'm saying. Did you learn this trick from Toon? Disciple of Toon, you moron. I hope you didn't pay for this. Is this the best you can do? Lie about the words that haven't crossed my lips when you misrepresent the scenario you don't understand? Wow, amazing. Remove this cunt from my presence. No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say that. You just got to put fucking words in my mouth that I didn't say. I heard what you said. I don't understand, end quote you.
Always be learning, yeah. I don't know everything.
Well, sit down and shut the fuck up and you might learn something.
You did say that the distance to the GP of a star is elevation angle times 60 nautical miles.
Still can't get it. Retard. Doesn't matter how many times I say, this is what happens when you take Toon's training in tow and say, if something devastating comes along that requires a flat Earth measurement of an angle that's then going to be minus from 90, the same 90 I've explicitly detailed to him multiple times when I've said it's the distance based on you and your acquisition of an angle to a point below the star at 90 degrees to your position. This man said, I don't really understand what you mean when you say at 90 degrees to my position. Now he's trying and failing to recite that which he was incapable of listening to. That's how you acquire the distance to the GP, minus the measured angle off a flat Earth from 90. The same 90 that's below the star to your position that he said he didn't understand. But he's now cock-waffling through the top of this. Fucking retard. Just like Toon, a complete spastic. Minus from 90. That's 90 degrees, part of the triangle that you're extrapolating this from, times by 60, the convention we have described by measuring celestial items and their recession towards the horizon as we back away from them. That calculation gives us the 60 nautical miles for 1 degree, or 69 statute miles for 1 degree. The other guy, not me, brought up. That is a flat Earth prerequisite, surface level, elevation angle measurement. That's what it is. Earth is measured flat for the degree to the light and the convention of nautical miles. These are all flat Earth prerequisites. Am I hearing a fucking retard talk while I talk? Shock and awe. You're not here to learn. You're here to babble through me, you dumb cunt. Keep your fucking flaps shut while I explain to you these conventions that we measure Earth flat with. Like distance
Nathan,
in nautical miles.
What's the length?
Shut up! Now this spastic IC spin, who after about 6 or 7 renditions of the calculation for distance to GP, is chat skanking and asking a new question through that which he's failed to understand 6 times. Yet these people need committing mentally. This man is a sub 80 IQ spastic. Like, shouldn't be given employment, should be mentally assessed. If you're listening to this IC spin, and indeed McToon, who I understand you are a disciple of, you are both spastics. That's the facts in this matter. Like, literally, after 3 or 4 renditions, you didn't manage to repeat minus measured angle from 90 times by 60. It's not complicated. You're still not getting it, though, you dumb shit. You dumb cunt! Nobody fucking cares what you've got as a question.
No,
I'm explaining it to you.
The Earth's not flat. It's not measured flat.
Now we've got another cuck. That'd be Rob Noxious, lying piece of shit scumbag. Chat skanking over the top of this man's defeat while he has the 7th or 8th rendition of how we measure distance on a flat Earth to a GP for a flat linear radial value of a circle of equal elevation. What have we got? Oh, it's not flat, not flat, not what, like the 90 degree to your position, like the elevation angle with respect to a plane, like the 60 nautical miles of the radial value that's all flat. What are we hearing? Not flat, not flat. Dumb fuck. Rob, you're probably less than 80 IQ. I would put you about 70. You are just a spastic. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, in sincerity, if it did transpire your careless mother dropped you on your head. Because at some point, I could only explain this level of stupidity with a brain injury. Like, what else can explain this level of stupidity? What's not flat? The 90 along the surface? The radial value that has to be linear? The elevation angle from a flat baseline? They're all flat. But it's just too fucking stupid to understand it. So is IC spin. But they want to hear their own voices, don't they, ladies and gentlemen? While they're having it explained how flat Earth gets measured in all circumstances. By them. I didn't bring this up, by the way. I know we're 3 or 4 shows into covering this. But I didn't bring this up. This isn't me who's brought up celestial navigation. Far from it. Yeah, it is, in degrees. We just described it literally 10 seconds ago.
No, I told you it's not. I showed you how it's not in degrees using the azimuthal globe projection.
Right, using the azimuthal globe projection. What's an azimuth? Degrees from north. It's not degrees when I describe the azimuthal. Azimuthal is measured in degrees. What spastic?
Which is based on a 360 sphere.
Sorry,
this is ridiculous.
Azimuthal, you say? Azimuthal. Sorry, I heard you, Rob. Rob, I heard you. Rob, I heard. I heard you, Rob.
What shape am I on?
Sorry, azimuthal,
Don't just throw
you
a
say?
question at him, bro.
Sorry,
He's not responsible.
Are we going to get Rob's... Notice what's happening? You've used a word. Azimuthal. Okay, what does that mean? It means flat. So we're going to hear 2 or 3 voices coming in from the sidelines in the neutral platform that I've got no control over. I mean, this is what you guys need, right? I mean, this seems like the perfect opportunity for Toon to jump in, does it not? It's all very, very neutral, with 3 or 4 voices jumping over the conclusion to, what does azimuthal mean? Yeah? It means flat. That's what it means. It's a flat Earth measurement. It can only be flat. It's a horizontal orientation for direction from north in a degree. Horizontally. What's that? You can hear lots of other voices? Yes, because it's on a neutral platform.
Nathan, they sense it coming. That's what it is. They sense it coming.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I've been called a demon because by metaphor, right, this is me saying I'm Neo with Smith being thrown off, all the different replicants. That's what's happening. Yeah? They can sense the devastating defeat that's about to occur because we've had one of the opponents with about sub 75 IQ throw out that, no, we're not flat, azimuth. Retard. Yeah, azimuth's flat. But what's that? We're going to need a few more Smiths. A point that he yacked through addressed, or we're just going to have somebody else join in. Azimuthal, you say, Rob? What does that mean? Means flat. And then let me know how my fucking bollocks taste, you stupid spastic.
You already asked him that question.
Yeah, azimuth is flat. Well. It's horizontal degrees from north. We measure Earth flat with azimuth.
It seems we're constructing two different models. One of them...
No, complete ignorance of the fact. Azimuthal, flat. It's a measurement. We're measuring Earth flat with this convention. Not, wow, that's amazing. Wow, you have actually demonstrated how flat this convention is because that's all it can ever be. It's a horizontal orientation from north in a degree measurement. No, I think we're convoluting two different... Some adenoidal twat changes the subject. Yeah? Again, that's what you need on a neutral platform. You need it so neutral that when you lose, it doesn't get acknowledged. What's that? Azimuthal. That's a flat Earth measurement. But what's that? We're convoluting two different models, says Mr. Adenoidal from the sidelines. Yeah, you bet it will be, Mr. Adenoidal, completely ignoring the devastating fact that this man's appealed to a flat Earth measurement after chat skanking through the top of the 8th rendition of how we derive a distance based on celestial navigation flat Earth angle measurements being minus from 90 and times by 60. The first retard couldn't cope with that on 8 renditions. At the point that he's actually listened to it enough to just about have it communicated, with Discord hearing 5 or 10% of it, we can hear Rob telling me, it's not flat, because flat azimuth measurements in the horizontal. What's that? We're convoluting two different models from an adenoidal third prick. Yeah, neutral. Very neutral.
The globe, and then the other one is this FE one.
There's no model.
No, nobody did that. Literally nobody did that. It seems you're introducing this and suggesting I did.
Hold on.
What a lying cunt. And I'm just going to call you out immediately for being a lying cunt. Nobody did that, you lying cunt.
No, but what we did do was discuss azimuth, horizontal directionality that was used as a justification for saying it's not flat. Now, new concept in false dichotomy introduced by a third person in this discussion, because the first two aren't going to be conceding how flat they're using their measurements, in this case azimuth. We need a third person to stop the pain. By the way, I was called a demon during this discussion. Apparently, me throwing Smiths off left and right is me being demonic. Just so we're all clear what I've been accused of after this.
Do you hear me, you lying cunt?
Energy back.
Nobody fucking did that.
I think you're ready to take on Rob now.
But there hasn't been any debate. There is no debate here. All that's happened is you bunch of fucktards have utilised horizontal distance, perpendicular altitude, parallel eye level, degrees from surface level, elevation angles. These are all flat Earth measurements that you, all of you, not me, have used.
Yeah.
Yep. Any comment? If not, we're going to round out this live stream. What about you guys in Discord? Did anybody from Discord want to add anything to this? Feel free.
What are you rounding out?
Yeah, it's about that time. No. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
What was that? I didn't even hear it.
I believe that sour pounder guy in chat is tuned.
I think he's got a few accounts and he's doing them simultaneously, maybe kind of like even Tara would do that. Either way, he's a weak troll, man. That's the truth of it. He always goes for the low-hanging fruit. What has he got? What is he ever going to have? That's the truth
of it. He's a child. He's like a little teenager. It's cold here. This guy's so dumb. He thinks that like there's an APB out on me or something, you know, all points bulleted. Like I can't go to a police station, otherwise they'll immediately arrest me. Freaking retard. They live in this bubble that's strange.
Maybe they're just afraid that you're going to take it up on going to the cops.
I already did. I got it on record long ago. Long time I got it on record. He's just too stupid. I heard him say, "Oh, please, Neil, go. Please, they will welcome you in there." This guy is freaking retarded. Lost track of life, I guess. It happens when you're a baller. You're in a freaking cult religion, and you know how it is when you're in a cult religion. I don't know. I was never in one, but from what I hear, hard to get out. Just look at that Scientology. What happens to those people that try to get out?
Those people are called suppressive persons. When you try and leave Scientology, you're deemed a suppressive person. So, for instance, Tom Cruise has a daughter that he's not allowed to talk to. She's been deemed a suppressive person by Scientology, so he doesn't talk to her anymore. You couldn't make it up.
Okay, Nathan, is that not a red flag? Like, hello, you're telling me I can't talk to my daughter. That's the time to get out. Hello.
I know what to tell you, man. That's what they do. We are deemed heliocentric, suppressive people. That's why we need to get away from heliocentrists, as far away from as possible. Unless I'm being paid.
Yeah, that guy was full of shit. I really do believe it's to him. I'm 90% sure it's him.
To what end? So he can say, look, people are offering Nathan to debate me all the time, and he just keeps saying no.
Yeah, in his mind, you're saying no. When you say that, they want you to say, okay, yeah, we'll do it that way. Send the money to modern day debates, and then we'll set it up. You should do that one time, just to call their bluff.
I'm not here to bluff. I'm not here to call. No. Number one, right? Gambling is the devil. I'm not calling bluffs. I'm not gambling, right? I will work and do so for payment. Now, people want to pay me. They just pay me. Now, that's not an unusual occurrence. I'm not going to. All right. Well, on the promise that you paying someone else that isn't me might end up in my bank account. Suck my fucking bollocks. If you want me, give me money. It is that simple. Now, if you don't, then I won't attend. It's that simple. What's that? I should gamble that money that's not sent to me might eventually make it my way from some intermediary. No, the intermediary can give me good fucking eye contact too. No, if you're going to be giving it to the intermediary, then that's not to me. So no, I'm not going to be calling any bluffs. I'm not gambling. I'm doing it to feed the kids. So I'm not going to go out and waste. Why haven't we got any money this month, Daddy? Why haven't we got any food? I went on this debate show to earn a crust, and they told me that they would send me the money, but they also told me they were going to send it to someone else. Well, didn't you feel that was a bit suspicious, Daddy? No, I was calling their bluff. I really thought that the intermediary would send me the money. Why? When these people are the most... My God, Neil, for fuck's sake.
You should misrepresent what I'm saying. You don't like it when people do that to you. You stop them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying do it. Didn't even hear what I said.
He said call their bluff. Agree. Bluff. I heard what he said. Agree. So that what, they send money to modern day debate?
He's not gonna. That's the whole point. They're full of shit.
Yeah, but I don't need modern day debate to be dragged into this for me to say, no, it's okay, you can just pay me and I'll just do it. You're offering me payment. No, I'm not actually offering you payment. I'm offering it to go to somewhere else because I don't think you'll do it. If you don't think I'll do it, why the fuck are you asking me then? Don't ask. What's that? You think the con man won't give you the money? So you're going to approach the con man and go, I'd like some money, please. Why? Because I know you won't give it me. Well, you're a fucking retard then, aren't you? If you don't think I'm going to do something, why the fuck would you ask?
That's the point. They're lying bastards.
Meanwhile, people have paid me plenty of times to go on shows. It happened yesterday. People pay me to do things. And I go, yeah, okay. No worries. That's what you want. Yeah, I can do that. Easy peasy. What, just be at this place at this time and talk to these people? Okay. Yeah, no worries. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. What's that? You don't trust that I'll do it? No, what you actually mean is you're not trustworthy and you won't actually pay me. That's what you mean. They're just immediately projecting that they're going to do onto me. It's always the same.
That's correct. It's projection. Absolutely. Like leaning on your mute button for 5 years. 5 years. So they're claiming you've been ducking a debate for 5 years with a show called Flat Earth Debate. That's funny.
Yeah, in their minds, when they hear someone like Rob Noxious go, it's not flat, azimuth. You go, you fucking retard. Azimuth's flat. That in their mind is me muting them.
Yeah, he went on to, freaking read out the definition of it too.
Right, who's around to keep the conversation going while I step outside for 2 minutes?
I will. So, right? Let me tell you, how do you feel about superstitious? Is anybody superstitious? Because what happened to me the other day? All right, but check this out. Now, it's sports related, but it happened. So, like, the Knicks in basketball are in the finals. They're playing a team called the San Antonio Spurs, right? So Monday was game 3. It's the best 4 out of 7. They won the first 2 games in San Antonio, and Monday they were coming to the Garden to play game 3. Right? Now, you win game 3, it's a freaking lock because they're going to fold their tents. There's no way they're beating the Knicks 4 straight times, right? So I think it was even during the show, I get a phone call, right? And I look at the phone number, I don't recognize it, and it says San Antonio. So it's probably some bill collector, from San Antonio. But you know what happened, right?
Not if we're not into sports, we know what happened.
The Knicks lost. I got mushed. All the days in the year that phone call could have came, it came on the Monday that the Knicks were playing San Antonio to put a stranglehold on the freaking series. And I get a phone call from San Antonio. I sent it to my cousin. I said, we're done. The Knicks ain't winning tonight. Look. I sent him a screenshot. He was dying. He's like, I hope that don't happen. But it did. And not only did it happen, it looked like I was watching a freaking high school basketball team. I didn't know what the hell the Knicks were doing.
All because of a call.
They put the Manoikia. They put the Manoikia on. You know the horns? The evil eye? You know when somebody overlooks you, they give you the evil eye?
Yep. So next time you get a call, let me know how to bet.
That's what I was thinking. I should have put all my money on San Antonio if I had money. But that's gambling. I don't gamble. I used to. And I never took money out of my pocket either. That's the fun thing about it. Like you call in, it's called a marker. You call in a marker and they want a credit line on you. So let's say it was mostly football. Say you bet the games on Sunday, you take some P's of bets, right? Where that's like a parlay. You bet, say the Jets could beat the Vikings and the Giants to beat the Cowboys. That's a parlay. And if that happens, is the if bet that goes with it. And if the Saints lose to whoever, right? That's a nice bet. So you put those in, say you lose. Man, now I owe $500. No problem. Just let that ride on the Monday night game. So if the Monday night game wins, you even again. And you do that all year long for 18 weeks. And at the end of the 18 weeks, I would usually wind up, in the black, where I was like, they owed me money. But I never took a dime out of my pocket to start, and I never took a dime out of my pocket to pay, because I wound up, in the black, where they owed me money. There was this one time I saw my friend Joey was alive before he got murdered. We stopped at this store, like a newsstand, like in a Asian neighborhood, a lot of Chinese people. So I go into this newsstand and I hear the owner, he's talking to some guy, and he's saying to the guy, I'm telling you, bet the Canucks. It's a hockey team. So the guy looks at the paper. He's like, are you kidding me? They're giving 6 goals. So in other words, if you bet the Canucks, you got to win by more than 6 goals. So the Chinese guy's telling him, I'm telling you, they're going to score 8, 9 goals tonight. It doesn't look like it's a lock, but it's a lock. So I come out and I tell my friend Joey, I said, I just heard this Chinese guy, the degenerate gamblers. I said, he was just talking about betting the Canucks tonight. So my friend Joey looks at the paper. He's like, giving 6 goals? No freaking way. I said, I don't know. He might know something. Maybe we should put a little something on it. No, we're not doing that. Next day, I show him the paper. Canucks 10, St. Louis Blues 1, whatever. They beat them by 9 goals, which is not even heard of in hockey. Something like that. It was a crazy score. I was like, we should have listened to the degenerate gambler. Look, we could have let everything we had ride on this hockey game, and we would have been freaking sitting pretty.
Nah, just do a fair day's work, and for a fair day's pay. That's it.
Yeah, that's the attitude I have now. But back then, I didn't have that attitude. Back then, it was scoring, gambling, and making money without working. It was like that's what it was. That's what it was about. Which you're right. The best way is the honest way. Work and get paid. I've been on both ends. I know. Even when I was on the other end, the money was coming in fast and quick, but it was going fast and quick. And the Bible says that ill-gotten money will go just as fast as you got it. It'll go just as quick. And I've witnessed that.
So you don't bet, but you're telling Nathan that he's got to call.
No, that's not what I said. I wanted him to call. No. You misrepresented me too. I said, call this prick on his bluff. That's it. Because I know he's not going to come up with it anyway. He's a liar.
To what end?
Yeah, to prove they're liars. I mean, I've got we interrupted a show that demonstrated them to be liars over and over again when they lied, to bring you a broadcast from a different liar about money that he's suggesting that he'll give me. You're like, you people don't want to give me money. You want to shut me down and have the police sent round. Like, I already know you're a liar. Doesn't need qualifying.
Yeah, I should never entertained it.
That's all right. I mean,
The biggest thing I've seen McToon put out there in the social media lately is that earwax is more popular than flat Earth.
What is it? What are they doing with that? Right? They're hurting so bad that they got to freaking say something to deal with their cope. They're trying to cope.
No, they're just trying to keep flat Earth into the cult category and the stupid flat earthers or the marginalized category. you know? But what is happening now is we're doing kind of an end run around the characterization of what quote unquote flat earth has become, and just pointing out geometry and construction and how we fly planes and all that stuff.
It's cool though, okay? I took some screenshots of a certain individual, right? Dogging our show, Nathan's show, show that we're part of the panel on, right? Dogging it. Look, only 3 people there. It's going down. It's coming to an end. They're hanging on by a thread. It's for them to cope, and really what the guy's looking at is it's Nathan's, when he plays the re-up. It's not the live show. It's the re-up. And yeah, does it have few? Yeah, nobody comes and watches it. It sucks. But in their mind, it's all coming to an end. You know?
That's the best place to have your opponents in, is put them in a headspace where they think they don't have anything to worry about and just leave them there. Nathan's in their head 24/7. And the only reason McToon's or you're in McToon's head is because he knows he can get you riled up more than Nathan lately. And so there's just nothing for them to argue about anymore.
He's riled me up.
He just wants to rile
I
you
haven't
up.
taken any phone calls from him.
I know, and that's good.
He's talking to the air.
Right. If you answered the other day when you said, "Well, I should pick it up one of these days," and I'm screaming, "No!"
You think I would pick up that phone? Do you guys know how to how to hypothetical?
Yeah,
I should pick it up one day and tell him, "Stick it up your ass." That would shock the shit out of him. Here, listen to this. Hold on. Go on mute 1 second because we'll feedback. Listen to this. You ready? Nancy had the premiere. 3 people watching. 12 years, and this flat Earth is dying, isn't it? He seems to think his book will save him from the workhouse, a.k.a. getting a job. Meanwhile, his wife does the breadwinning. This is what you see, right? This is what they put up. Wishful thinking. And it's like, get a life. Why are you so concerned about what's going on over here? And then he says, LVA Paul, listen to this. This was interesting, though. LVA Paul is engineering the coup against Nancy, gathering all the street flirts to divide and conquer. He fancies a crown. Then he goes, FED has been infiltrated with underground Etherites who secretly plot against Nancy. They're calling you Nancy, Nathan.
Well, and they're the ones that are trying to secretly infiltrate.
Exactly.
You know, that's and when you were talking a lot about how that, certain people, you had people on your list because they were there and not talking and taking the after show information separately and stuff like that. That's all they have to talk about. They're the National Enquirer of flat Earth category, and they've got to keep it there.
No, the shit list was for those that crossed over and started supporting QE. That was the shit list.
Yeah, well, there was an ancillary side note about whoever was in the servers listening to the after show was sending that information because they, like Elder Bear would say something to you that he could have only heard in the after show.
Right.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
And it's still going on because somebody knew about the freaking $100 challenge.
Yeah. Got to watch out. Everybody's watching. Somebody's watching sometime. It's the way it is. But it's fine. It's fine. I'm not stressing over it because when a guy who calls himself Surf's Daddy gets the big kahuna McToon to cry, "You just don't know geography, not one little bit," and I listen to his voice when I read out that text. He's such a mamby-pamby. When someone does that to someone like me, I know that he's just desperate.
They're all desperate now. It's really desperate. I mean, they were desperate back in the day, but now it's like really desperate. What do you call that when you're grabbing straws, reaching for straws? It's like it has a meaning, right? Because they used to grab the weed it's like a straw and you could breathe underwater with it. They're grasping for straws. They're drowning.
Yep. Their whole livelihood as a counter for what the general media wants to characterize as a cult and as a fringe group and as nothing important. Their whole reason for being and for being propped up will be threatened the more and more people realize that the earth is just measured flat, always has been, and stop watching the McToons. The only way that they're going to be marginalized or deplatformed or, fade away is when people just stop watching. And the more people realize that they don't need to watch them for their information about how the Earth's not flat, dwindles as soon as they realize it's just measured flat. Move on. Have your day. So it's just fascinating to watch. And that Nathan's willing to not be the next big guru about this, and point out how it goes without saying that we do this that we measure the Earth flat, no big deal, is what will flip tables, I think.
Well, hopefully I won't have to flip tables. I've done flipping microphones. I want to start flipping my book.
And there's a grandma saying, or an old famous Southern saying, don't go looking for a seat at the table that Jesus would be flipping. So that you're not looking to get a seat at the table of YouTube, premier guru, super funded, millions of views, blah, 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 that you're not ultimately trying to do that. You're just trying to sell a book, is commendable. And I think ultimately better route, and you'll be psychologically better off and stuff like that. People that are fighting and debating and punditry about this and other subjects, they're just, I don't know. Think of a word. But they're just not worth it. And it's not worth it to be, famous for a minute, the guru. And everyone in this business, in this arena, We've seen them all, Jaron and Whitsitt and Bob and
I still can't get
pretty
over the
much.
fact that Jaron was behind a paywall giving counselling, like life coaching.
I thought he was doing like crypto.
Yes.
counseling. I thought he was doing crypto
No.
counseling.
No, he was doing that too, but he was also counseling marriage couples. Freaking jaw fell to the ground when I heard that.
That just shows people don't have discernment. The guy, he's just the way he presents himself in his shows. You can't see his eyes. He's always hiding his eyes. He's just creepy. And
The reason why he wanted to give marriage couple advice is because when he was a kid, him and his sister watched as their mother and father stood together just for their sakes. So it was supposedly a horrible house to live in. So if you're not getting along, don't do that to your kids. Get divorced. That was his logic for being a freaking counselor.
the good logic is to work hard to reconcile.
Exactly.
Now, just pick one in the first place.
Both of you become humble and repent.
I get that people do that, but that to me says that you didn't pick well. Like, you didn't go out and find the woman of your dreams to fall in love with.
Well, hold on.
I'm not saying my wife and I are perfect, right? But I've got a deep love for her. So in many ways, she couldn't do anything wrong. Now, that doesn't mean that in the most literal sense. We have fights. Everyone has fights. But they're very rare. And they're always forgiven and forgotten about. And, people who stay together for the sake of the kids, you're like, I struggle to believe that they were ever truly in love with one another when that happened.
Here's the thing: if you're freaking, what puts pressure on a husband and wife? Finances, number one. That's one thing that can. But these are things you got to work through, right? And if you married the person you love the person you married, then you work through it, right? Now, if you're freaking having silent treatments in the house because your husband is out at strip clubs or your wife is cheating on you, that's totally different. I mean,
and that's picking badly. You picked a hoe. If your woman's cheating on you, then she's a hoe. If you're cheating on your woman, then you're just a hoe, and your woman picked badly when she picked you. Like, you weren't worthy of getting married to that woman. She picked badly. She should have picked a better man. But that's to say, don't be a hoe and don't marry a hoe.
And don't take advice from a hoe.
Yeah. And only have kids when your desire to have kids with the person that you're with is the highest of the that's the main motivation. Like, I want to have kids with you. Like, so we together can raise them together. Like, because that's what life's all about. That's the main bit, right? One of the reasons, we are, my wife and I, very financially unstable. But when I said I wanted to be a YouTuber, we sat down and had the discussion and we knew what we were in for. But I'm like, it's worth it because we get to be with our kids. The kids that you and I will create that I can't wait to produce. You know what I mean? And then when you're doing this stuff, like today, I took my eldest or older daughter, I keep getting checked on that by a gentleman that's Indian rather than English native, correcting me on my grammar. My older daughter to the gymnastics class today, but my motivation to do that and teach her about averages while we were driving over is because I want my wife and I to have had the opportunity to raise good kids. But that's a joy. Now, if you're banging your mate while you've got a baby in tow, you're like, what are you doing, you hoe? Why did you have a kid with that hoe? You picked really badly.
in his case, he did. See, in his case, he went just with what his eyes saw, because from what I hear, she's drop dead gorgeous, and he didn't check any other boxes. I mean, I went out with gorgeous girls. I'm sure you did too, Nathan. but you immediately see where they're at. You know, a few hours later, there's a couple of more boxes that need to be checked. Like, okay, this is not the one I'm going to spend eternity with.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come on.
But you spend time with them before you get married to them. You know, you don't move in with them. You just have them occasionally stay over, and then you get to see their annoying habits if they have any. You know, and that normally comes to the surface within a couple of months. But if you're like, yeah, but I can look past that, well, you shouldn't, and you'll pay dearly for it if you do. Anyway.
Yeah, it goes beyond the beauty that your eyes are seeing, right? There's more stuff. There's got to be an inner beauty, match the outer beauty. Well, these come close. You know, you're not going to be perfect in everything, but you should know who you're getting married to when you walk down that aisle. Am I right?
Yeah, you should be asking yourself before you be in a position to walk down the aisle, do I want to spend the rest of my life with this person? Right? Can I picture myself being very old and very happy with this person? And if the answer's not immediately, absolutely without question, then you shouldn't be marrying them. You should keep looking. And if the best that's on offer is someone that, well, she's a bit annoying, and yeah, she does seem a bit mercenary, and yeah, she does seem to get a lot of male attention from other people that aren't me, but she's really pretty, and I'm sure those things won't bite me in my ass. You're like, well, you're an idiot. You know, you assess these things if you're going to marry the person, because some people think that getting married is going to be like a license to keep the person.
No.
Like, nah, you should be with them, and the marriage should be secondary. That is to say, well, even if I wasn't married to my wife, I know I'd still be with her. It's kind of inconsequential. It's a byproduct.
Well, the ring is significant. It means something. It means that you're not supposed to break it, right? Because the ring is solid all the way around. Now, I've had this conversation years ago with a few guys that I worked with, and I have a picture of my family right on the phone. And they were talking about these girls or whatever, and how this one cheated on his wife and that one. And he said, how can you do something like that? They're like, what are you talking about? I said, no matter how hot, it happened to be a very beautiful girl to be walking by at the time we were on break. I said, that one right there. You think that I would, and I took the picture of my phone, I put it on when they could see it. I said, you think that 15 minutes tops, give myself a half an hour with her. You think I'd be able to live with myself looking at these pictures? Because I look at that and I'd say, it will come out, they will find out. And a disappointment that would bring. And they were like, wait, you think about all of that stuff before? He said, there's the one kid said, I think about it after I feel guilty. I said, yeah, but after it's too late. You got to have something that brings you to reality. Like, even if you did get this girl and you spent time with her, nothing good's going to happen. Now, you're either going to fall in love with her, right? The experience is going to cloud your judgment where you think you're in love and leave your wife, and then nothing good comes out of that. Got my friend murdered, I can tell you that much. So no matter who it is, no matter how good they look, you got to think of these things. The people you're going to hurt, right? You made a commitment to this woman. She's the one that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So don't cheat on her.
Right there, Neil. One of the things that springs to mind there for me is something my dad has always told me through being young, and I still say it now, and he always used to tell me, always think twice. Whatever you do, just think twice before you do anything.
Yeah, that's what the pictures are there for, to wake you up to reality. I look at, and I'll tell you, I've been in positions where I've been freaking very tempted, and I just wouldn't do it. I do not want to hurt the woman that I said I do to, that I said I love for the rest of my life. I do not want to hurt them, and I do not want to disappoint my boys. They would never look at me the same anymore. You'd lose so much respect. And now your marriage might survive, right? You can go to counseling, but that they don't forget that. They may forgive you, But they're not going to forget that, and neither are you. So why put yourself into that position? For what? A freaking to ejaculate? To come? Really? So that's what you're thinking with. You're thinking with that. It's going to bring you nothing but misery. And I seen it with my friend. He had this, it was a strip club by us back in the 80s, 90s called Goldfingers. They had all top end girls there. And that's what we frequented. That's what you did. You ever see that show, The Sopranos, the Bada Bing Club, whatever it was? Well, that's what it was like. It's true. That's what the life is. These are the places you go to when you hang out. You know everybody there. That's great. He was meeting this girl from Arizona. Now, I was in prison at the time. I wasn't home yet. But I was getting out soon, so I would call him up because I would reconnect and get right back into where I was before. Every time I went away, he got higher up in the organized crime ladder, right? So I call him up, and his wife keeps hanging the phone up on me. So like a day before I'm getting out, I call his house again. She picks up the phone. I said, Rosemary, do not hang this freaking phone up on me. I'm getting out tomorrow, and I need to know where Joey is. She starts crying. She's like, he left me for some Goldfinger stripper. So I was like, what? So I was like, all right, give me his number. I can reach him. I'll call him. Let me see what's going on. So the next day when I get out, I'm home and I call him up. I said, Joey, I'm home. He's like, where are you? I said, I'm home. I just told you I'm home. He's like, I'll be up. I'll be right there. I'll pick you up. We'll go out to eat. I said, Joey, what's going on? Your wife, she's crying. She's telling me you left her for some Goldfinger stripper. So he starts laughing on the phone. He said, I'll be right there. So he picks me up, right? And we're driving to this restaurant. It's just me and him. And I'm giving him the whole lecture. Same thing that you see on Goodfellas when they go to his house and they tell him, listen, you got to go home. This is what we do. Yeah, you got to go home. And Paul Sorvino says, after all, we're not animal, right? I'm giving him that whole freaking lecture, and he's just smiling and laughing. We get to the place, we're walking in the restaurant, and right up to the point where I got to the table, I'm telling him how he's got to go home. I get to the table, and he's like, Neil, this is whatever her name was, I forgot, Veronica maybe? She gets up, says hello to me, and I was like, okay, I kind of understand now what you're talking about because she was that pretty. But anyway, it ruined his freaking marriage. He wound up freaking dying a year later, getting murdered, right? So it's true. The Bible talks about it. The adulterous woman will seek for the precious soul, right?
The
and the end
Jezebel.
of that man, yeah, the end of that man is death. I seen it with my friend.
Jezebel.
But it was like a comedy, though. It was because I'm giving him a lecture the whole time. And he was smiling and laughing because he knew. Once I seen the girl that I would be at first like, okay, yeah, but then still my reasoning was still there. And I almost had him. The problem was he owed a lot of money to all different places and he had to get away. So what he did was he told his wife he was coming back home. He gave her a false hope. But the whole time he was just buying time to set the other girl up in Arizona. And it was the last time I spoke to him. Like, he was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I said, I'll tell you what we could do. Forget about this girl in Arizona. You got her there. She's fine. Leave her. I said, get back with Ro, right? That's your family. And we'll figure out how we're going to pay everybody back. And I had him for a second. But then he said, no, I can't. I owe too much money. And that was it. I never seen him again.
Fair enough.
I got to go. I'll see you.
Right, that might be my cue to actually round out. With that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and Cheapest Panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for all liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Hit me up via the PayPal and Coffee link and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.
But when you measure it flat, it contradicts that. I'm spitting flat facts and that. And I know you don't like that. Google Maps is flat, it presents elevation profiles like that. I'm a spitting flat earth king. Sentence has a ring, doing my own thing. If earth was a big roast chicken, factually finger licking chicken, we just got the measurements missing. I'm spitting eggs and begs, begging the question lesson. I've said it before, time after time. I'm the spitting flat earth king of rhyme.